called your children of time.
Patience, my brethren.
The Great One is all-seeing. All praise to the Great One.
Yeah, the Great One. Honestly, they can't be talking about anybody in the present era of Doctor Who, I think. Welcome again to our Children of Time show, where I tell you what, are there any rules? Like some dodgy child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bam Bam, I kidnap under 35 Whovians, take them out of time, Baruza style, and assemble them like character options figurines to answer for the latest RTD episode, The Story in the Engine. The only engine story I was interested in this week was the 80th of Thomas the Tank Engine, to be honest. In this case, it's RTD's obsession with the message killing Doctor Who. That's the thing tonight. Now, we've got a lot to discuss tonight. Rumours, previews of the Eurovision. Oh, God. So let me get into the material. Let's have a look. There's our talk. My Who Knight gave their instant reaction and were very fresh and impassioned with their responses. I was pretty triggered, and you'll see I have not calmed down yet. So that's that one, if you haven't seen it. My Sunday assessors were rating the episode and scoring the ratings too. Shocking scores were given, placing it level with Rogue and 2 points above Space Babies. That's our Sunday show at 5:45. If you missed it, you check out our scores. Do you agree with them? So I've set the Children of Time creche up, and this week you will see it. You know why I've picked the under 35s, because RTD said they were the chosen ones, the prize catch. Remember all these quotes? I like to ram these quotes down his throat because, a bit like Keir Starmer, they keep changing. So in Britain, certainly, we're getting the biggest, youngest audience of any drama or any show on television, and that's the audience that is deserting television, so we are delighted. So we will talk about putting a Barber Shop episode on primetime TV on a Saturday night up against somebody yanking a vehicle or with Anton Deck set on the back, pulling them with his eyelids. Which one would you watch? Let's be honest. Which one will the family watch? Anyway. Teacher Brendan, here we go. Teacher Brendan is in the Children of Time creche now, so let's check the credentials of these Who fans with their name and age. Are they allowed to be in this creche in some far-off constellation, or will they be evicted? Or will I have them on the naughty step? They've even got a naughty step tonight as well, yes. So which version of me am I going to give out tonight, eh? Are they going to behave or not? Are they going to see this version, Baruza Brendan, where basically, yes, I've collected them out of time and I'm going to be on it with them, you know, and I could go feral. Or are they going to see this version, the child catcher Brendan? Oh, ho, ho, children. Oh, yes. Or could it be just Super Nanny Brendan who keeps them in check? This is the version we all want to be. Is that the version they're going to get with their lip? So, of course, let's just get them all on. Let's have a look. So, first of all, he's been warned. Good to see you, Sean.
Good evening.
Yeah, you see, notice that due deference. You're holding back now.
Well, a little bit. I've got to say, Brendan, and I'm sure the chat will agree, you're smouldering in that photo there. I'd wolf whistle, but I wouldn't want to be accused of a crime.
I know. It was at a museum. I was doing a school trip, and I was not in a good mood. So let's get Sonny on from across the pond. Hiya, Sonny.
Captain Sonny Waffle sailing in at age 26, to tell you the truth. Yep.
Yeah, Sean distracted me and he didn't give his age away. You see, this is it. This is what you're with. And we'll get the quartet filled, and then we'll get the creche filled, and then we'll get going. So here's Ryan over there in Belfast.
Good evening. Are you well? Because you're looking well. My name is Ryan. I'm 31.
There you go. They're all being polite because I know they're going to be champing at the bit over what happens next, and that's the key. Now, this is my children of the creche, children of the time creche. But this, shall I show them in action? Are you ready, lads? I've done one with you in the creche. Are you ready? Here we go.
God help me, I'm 33.
Oh.
What the? Is that? Oh, you've done me dirty there, Brendan. That's not on.
It's pretty perfect.
So anyway, there you
Got
go.
the beanie.
I just thought it would be a bit funny. It's
I
just
got the
every
beanie.
week I'm trying to do this extended metaphor. I've got to make it work, you see. I'm trying my best.
Ryan and Sean look normal.
Don't you think you look normal?
I look Photoshopped. They look like that's their baby pictures, man. That's pretty good.
I'll have to try and
Kai,
find another one. Don't
how
worry.
big do you think my head is?
Like that as a baby.
Oh,
Great, let's see bigger.
Yeah.
Or why
I was-
did you not
Sonny, I
give
was-
Sonny his ever expanding Peter
I
Davison
like
hat?
it. That's the beanie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, is this better than I was nearly going to put some space babies in the background, from the space movie. Oh god, anyway. So
I mean,
let's
I
start
love
with-
that Sonny's already been dragged to Specsavers as a child. That's good, or whatever the American version is.
I still got
And those eyes fixed early.
Oh god. So there you go. We'll take it from there. Well, the crew on Saturday night, I mean, there's a lovely photograph of them all being very pleased with themselves. Lots of non-representation going on there. So I might as well, I've done 2 streams on it so far, so people kind of know where I'm going with it. So Ryan, just, was it a lovely Saturday night?
Right, where the hell do I start with this one? Honest to God, I have tried over the last 3 days, I've tried so hard to possibly go back and watch it again because, quite frankly, I didn't get it. I don't know if I'm stupid or what. I did not understand what was going on.
Yeah, and I've even got on for the what the F. I've got the transcript of what was apparently the resolution, so you can really stare at it and going, "Is it still making sense or not?" But it's 45 minutes. You won't get back, Ryan. And did it have impact on you?
No, it's the only episode so far this season. Like, I haven't been a massive fan of this season, as you know, but it is the only one this season that I got bored halfway through it and started looking on my phone. I was like, I couldn't give a shit after 20 minutes, quite frankly.
Well, basically, it's just like instead of watching grass grow, you're watching hair grow. That's all you were doing.
Yeah, no, I just
Ryan,
God,
so you were engaged.
Gosh,
actually, you know what really struck me? How goddamn cheap it looked. How can a show apparently with a massive Disney budget look that cheap? It looked like the entire film was it very much felt like, oh yeah, this is all just being filmed in a studio. It looked shit.
Sean, I wanted to get your take on it, just your overall take, on the Saturday experience. But taking what Ryan was saying then, we talk sometimes about the Disney budget and whatever, the bigger budget than in the old days. They could have saved an awful lot of money, and it was an indulgent bit. Here, Shooty's doctor going in the market and going, "Hi, dude," and doing all the fancy handshakes and looking as though he gets on with the whole of Nigeria was a non-event of a scene. It wasn't part of the plot or anything. It was just a waste of a set of 80 supporting artists. Money is burnt in this series for no narrative impact.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. My overall judgment of the whole thing, it was just, and I think Jamie said the same, didn't he? It was just so boring. I've never been as bored. I don't think I was as bored watching even The Flux, which was awful, but at least it was kind of trying. It was trying to throw stuff at you and flashbangs. It was trying to be a bit distracting, but this was just absolute filth. It was awful. It was absolutely god awful. And I don't know how. Yeah, number one, where'd the money go? Number two, where's your quality control? Where's your auditors? Where's your people saying, are we really gonna, like, I know nobody would dare criticize RTD, but where was somebody saying, what the hell? What is this? What, it doesn't make any sense. What's the crack with the spider? It was boring. I'm glad I didn't do the Sunday night show, although I wasn't very well, so I slept through it and missed it. Apologies. It was boring. There's nothing to get into except how far this has fallen. And before you get into all the kind of the ridiculousness of where they set it, it's some kind of fantasy utopia, because it certainly isn't where they said it's set. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Oh, we certainly get into it. And just, as I come to Sunny, Matrix Lord is saying, and thanks for that, that obviously the money's gone into episodes 6, 7, and 8. So this one quite
and
easily.
Russell T. Davis's Rent Boys. Whoops, slander.
Well, yes, that's a parody joke there. The thing I was going to say, Sonny, is I've lost right. Oh, there, yeah, 6, 7, and 8 is episode
Naughty
5.
Ryan, naughty Ryan, naughty step.
When
I
you've got
don't give a tonight, let me tell you, I'm anyway. Sorry, go on ahead.
yes, the sense for you don't approve of that at all. But no, what I was going to say, Sonny, is the new lad into television, in Noah Elms, is given the slot where not much money is available because it's all been left till the end of the season. That's nice.
Yeah, and you're all 100% right. They're burning money in the wrong places. The whole shop stuff could have been cut, and we would have lost nothing. Or the bazaar stuff when running through the market or whatever. But I gotta sweep a little bit because the well was way more boring than this episode. This episode actually had an interesting reveal with the little brain thing. The doctor actually saved the day. This is the only episode in 2 seasons where he did save people and he saved the day. And Belinda didn't suck. Like, there was a lot of good things going for this episode. It was just wasted. Most of the episode was wasted. You didn't get there until the end. The Doctor Who moments, there were at least 2 of them where they were running through corridors and fighting the brain thing, like, and the spider itself. All of that stuff was actually cool. We just didn't see it for over half the episode.
Is this you being serious? Are you being serious?
Yeah, I'm sweeping. Yeah, I'm telling the honest truth. I'm telling the honest truth.
Whatever you're on, I want some. Because it was dreadful.
Well, first of all, Super Nanny Brendan already is having to do a yellow card. So basically, there you go. Naughty step for Ryan.
Oh my God.
And for any
RTD... No, I can't say it.
For any RTD followers out there, we things are said in jest and it's not meant at all. It's all alleged, all that stuff. So yes, naughty step for you, Ryan. There you go. Doesn't look too comfy in that position. But
I can't say what I was going to say.
No, you'll have to be careful tonight, you. So yes, just before we get going, I thought the lads would still like this again because next week's episode is the Eurovision, and I think that's the memory everyone has of the Eurovision over recent years. They're very good at plumbing the depths. So we will take a look at some of the shots that have come out of the Interstellar Song Contest episode. You've got a horny man, Freddie Fox.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He's called Kid. That's this Kid.
Oh God! Sorry.
I know.
Out loud there.
Which is it? The kid in the Gods of Ragnarok, as some have said. She's got a smoothie. All looks very kind of, yeah. Just put in when you want, lads, on if any of the photographs mean anything, or just But
nope.
There are 2 horny people. 2 horny people in it.
Okay.
These are apparently they're like terrorists, I think.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's nothing more terrifying than terrorists. Sorry, there's nothing more terrifying than terrorists in eyeliner. Oh God, it's Maybelline. It's Max Factor X. Run, everyone, quick! Good God.
He's wearing a necklace.
Good God.
Also, the only thing that I've heard about, like, I said right from day one, this is the one episode that I'm really not looking forward to, but it couldn't possibly be any worse than what we've just seen. So, but from what we've heard, though, this episode isn't going to be what we think it's going to be, well, we'll see about that.
What? I know what you mean, though, because this felt like that to me. This episode that we've just seen, the story and the Barber Quart, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
It was a big nothing. It was just nothing. A dry lunch. It was like a stale meal deal. It was poor. It was nothing. I thought this was going to be like really. I thought they'd really double down on messaging. I thought it would be really rough, but it wasn't. It was like they kind of. It was like they kind of pulled out. Not in that way. It was like they kind of pulled out of it at the last minute. They were like, "Oh no, we daren't. Like we're losing too many viewers. Can we edit it?" It was just terrible.
What did RTD give a task to Juno Dawson? Do Eurovision meets Die Hard, and so yeah.
What?
Why doesn't he just say write a bloody good Doctor Who story? Please stop it. If you copy other things, you never get as good. You're always lesser. And yes, when the Hinchcliffe era did their homages to the Thing and various things, that was fine because that was a homage and it worked and it was still there to scare you. But just say do Eurovision with Die Hard, you're just going to have a bit with a gun and a bit like this and a bit of special effects, and then you'll have lots of songs.
Maybe. But I'm saying, okay, are we expecting this season to be better than anything else? I guess RTD might be, but I don't even think he truly believed this season was going to be bigger than anything else, especially season 2, right? So since this narrative arc is about stories, I would rather he just start ripping off other stories, because then I know we're going to get a complete story, which we haven't even gotten in the past 8 episodes or whatever.
Well, as Matrix Lord says, it's a secret part 1 of a 3-parter like Utopia. Yes, definitely. It's a definitely part. It sets up the trilogy because you get the reveal. Now, here's one reveal, possibly. Now, have you noticed that this singer, it says it, and it's Juno Dawson's Instagram says, representing the planet Tryon, it's Cora de Saint Bavier. Now, Tryon is where Turlough's from. And we last saw him in Planet of Fire when the Tryons were there, weren't there? And then he left Peter Davison and went back to Tryon. So is Turlough coming in?
Oh, no.
But then is this just another Easter egg? Another Easter egg? Another Easter egg? Nonsense Easter eggs that apparently Die Hard fans, Die Hard, it's doing a lot of heavy play here. Die Hard fans will go, oh, that's Turlough. Oh. Meanwhile,
I can't wait for it, mate.
Yeah. Meanwhile, casual fans go, I don't know what this is all about. John Yulden's been extremely generous. Thank you. I cannot control my excitement for Saturday for what will clearly be a sci-fi classic, and for that, John will get his first cheer of the night. Here we go.
Yeah!
There you go. It's going to be.
I've got some.
Go on.
So I've got some insider information with my really, really intricate. Can't think of the word. Sorry. Just to let John know for his super chat, I've got a bit of an exclusive, John. Apparently, there's a song in this that goes something like, "Doctor Who, I was defeated, you won the Time War." So stick around because it's going to be a hell of an episode. Oh my God! What's
me?
Okay. I wasn't expecting that. Sorry. I thought it was that kid. I thought it was the kid for a second.
He's jazzed his hair up now. No, I know. I'm wondering if this person's like the director of the Eurovision Song Contest. Those two guards behind are part of the terrorists, and so
Daft
there's
Punk in it behind.
So I don't know. I mean, where do you go with this? She's got a lanyard. There's the gay couple who are about to divorce, and it's a mixed gay couple. Tick, 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 tick. We're ticking like mad here. So is everybody happy now? We've ticked nearly every box possible. I suppose you have to have a gay couple watching the Eurovision, otherwise it's not the Eurovision. So I suppose that's true. That's authentic.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, but this is what it looks like, lads. There you go. Does it look classically Doctor Who or classically Eurovision?
It looks like he's wearing a diaper and it's full.
Actually, yeah, I know the lighting on that one. It's
That's horrendous.
yeah, it's a bad effect, isn't it?
Is these publicity photos that they're putting out there?
Yep.
Right?
What's there that's going to make people want to tune into this?
I don't know, man.
Oh, look at that TARDIS in that little pod in the corner.
I was just looking at that too. Yeah,
I
that
can't even
looks
see it,
great,
just blended
I
in.
guess.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, I
It looks
didn't see
crap.
that.
It looks kind of cool. I think the scene is gonna look good when it pans across.
Sonny's
it.
reaching.
I'm getting the copes out the way early. Okay, this is what they're gonna say. Oh, the scene when it panned across, it looks so
I
good.
don't care what they're gonna say. I don't care. They're full of baloney. I don't care.
The
what can I say?
it does look like a classic Eurovision, albeit but with even added color. They've out-colored the Eurovision in this episode. It is going to look expensive, and it is going to be heavily CGI'd if that's necessary. I mean, I don't know if that's where you should be spending your money. However, they are clearly spending on an awful lot of CGI. It's just that whether this is going to pay off for it being Doctor Who on a Saturday night. We've had a Barber Shop on Saturday night, and this week, remember, the British public don't all like the Eurovision. So the Eurovision's on for 3 hours, 3.5 hours on Saturday night, BBC One. So what the BBC One have done is for an hour before, they're going to give you even more Eurovision.
Or like a parody Eurovision.
Yeah. And then it's, I don't know. I think this might backstep. Anyway, that's obviously what it's going to look like. And these are some of the creatures in it.
Well, they all look. Yeah, I seen a photo, like the woman with the like tiara on, like the multicultural. That is, I seen a photo of that yesterday. It is one of the cheapest looking Doctor Who monster things I have ever seen in this show. It looks absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
She's from the planet Stonewall, I think.
She's just wearing like a spandex suit with some pattern on it. It looks horrendous.
But AU, top right hand corner, is that quite? It looks quite similar to a sea devil, but it looks as though it might be more of a beak.
Yeah, it's a
Domino's. Is that Domino's pizza box someone's holding up at the back there?
It could be.
I've just seen somebody write. Somebody's written in the chat there. I don't know who it was. That people have just given up. It feels like this. It feels like the people have just given up. They've just given up. I mean, how bad does this look?
Do you see the pig in the bottom right corner?
Yeah,
How does the pig, like the one that the Slovene used in Aliens of London, how does that look better than that?
But I mean, I don't know where to go on this one, because it's aping the Eurovision. The Eurovision shouldn't take itself seriously. In a kind of way it has, because it's much more commercial. But I don't know why Doctor Who would be trying to do a parody of a parody, really, because the Eurovision is a parody song contest.
It's got nothing left, Brendan. It's got absolutely this. This is what you do if you were hungover a Friday afternoon. The soft, sappy, wet as a can of piss teacher that is always off on a Friday afternoon is off again, and you've been called in. Pardon my French. And you've been called in to do a lesson. You're hungover. You can't be bothered. You've skipped your lunch, and now you've got to go teach Mr. Smith's chemistry class, and you just phoned it in. You've got nothing left. You're just waiting for that bell, that sweet, sweet bell of cancellation of the day, and that's what they're waiting for.
Well, I think you've been waiting for your naughty step, because you've sworn now. So here we go. It's an excuse to give you a naughty step.
I had sworn about 12 times. Go on then.
There you go.
Why is
He's whining. He's whining.
That's my I'm filling my nap. That's my I'm filling my nappy face. You have to clean it, Brendan.
Honestly, it was so much fun doing them. My software is brilliant on all this. Anyway, so there you go. This is the Eurovision done Doctor Who style. But this is the details we got from it just before we move on. Now, you were joking about what the song could be. There is a catchy tune, it says. Let me just get that there so I can see it. called Dugadoo. What does it say there? Because my lettering is hiding it.
Dugadoo.
Dugadoo.
Then
Do. Push
Oh,
pineapple,
God.
shake the tree.
And then Lizard, and then Lizard is played by Janice Goblin, actress. So there might be another song. Rylan has been revived. Oh God, from his supermarket sweep. The King of Eurovision, Graham Norton's going to be there. Bickering fans Gary and Mike, you've seen them, that mixed couple, are on the verge of divorce until a danger reminds them of what really matters. Oh God, I mean,
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Turlo's home planet Tryon is represented by Singer, who is hiding something. Oh, so she's got something under
Not
her
that
dress.
dress. Not that dress. She isn't. Jesus
She might be
Christ. See you
She might
dinner?
be trans. She might be. Hold on. She might be hiding something. She might be hiding something. What about after the attack? The Doctor unleashes a sort of rage not seen in a long time. Not
2
seen
episodes.
Let me guess. He
You'll
sobs
cry.
and he spits all over the stage, and the person
I'm
with the
sure.
mop's like, "Owie, mate, really?"
Yeah,
He lets
I'll
out
make
more bodily fluids than you've ever seen in your life.
I think I'll make a
Sorry.
shooty baby doll for next week for when he cries and his bib comes out. You know, there's dummy spit. So, but honestly, this Doctor, I know he said this series, RTD said, I told the writers I wanted the Doctor to be much more angry. Well, we saw his anger in with Conrad Clark, and it was more of sadism, and it was nasty, and it just wasn't the Doctor. So they didn't write it well. But here,
No.
after the attack, the Doctor unleashes a sort of rage not seen in a long time. Oh, really?
It just sounds like lies.
Yeah. The 803rd Interstellar Song Contest has a sponsor with the name Poppy in it. Is it the Space Baby Poppy? Archie Punjabi, thought to play a villain in season 2, has yet to show up in the series. That's a very unsubtle clue. We are discussing, as other streams have, some of the rumors out there, and we'll try and fit some of the bits together and poo-poo an awful lot of the bits. But we'll have our take on it. Out in the audience, we see Mrs. Flood, and events take an unexpected turn. And RTD, and I think it is important to say, to be honest, with all this stupid streaming stuff, has warned fans to stay offline and watch the Interstellar Song Contest unspoiled, because I think we've got a lot of prats online, you know they are, and they immediately tell you what's happened. And that I think that's unfair. But then
do we actually really give a crap? Like, if it was good Doctor Who, I think I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd be annoyed at the spoilers, but do I care? No.
Yeah, but think of those 10 people you'll spoil it for. Those 10 people.
That's
what's the spoiler?
unfair,
What's the spoiler going to be? Who the Doctor's?
Yeah, exactly. If the
Israel.
reveal was a real reveal and like not so obvious that people could guess it, like you wouldn't have a problem. Now,
I think most people in the rumors already have a version of what's happening. I'll show them, but let's move on to only two rumors, and then we're going to move on to talking about this season and this episode. So first of all, this is the person who has been doing all the hard work on Reddit. You know, all these people say they know somebody at the BBC. No, they don't. They've just all read the same bloody thing. But this person has been pretty accurate about bi-generation, has been pretty accurate about lots of things that have happened all the way through. He predicted episode 6, for example, and what he had predicted for last week was true. Episode 6 guest stars Freddie Fox as a terrorist holding the Interstellar Song Contest hostage. It ends with Mrs. Flood revealed as the Rani. Mrs. Flood bi-generates from the Rani at the end of the Interstellar Song Contest and babbles about Omega. The person says that a young Asian woman plays the current Rani from which Mrs. Flood bi-generates, but doesn't know who it is. And maybe it's Archie Punjabi. So basically, the Rani, of course, you know, before anybody gets too triggered, the Rani word is an Indian word, isn't it? And queen. So basically, if you go that way, I suppose that's cultural appropriation done that way. But that's 2 bi-generations, and they're supposed to be a myth. Omega, did we need him back? Go on, Sean.
I was just going to say one word. Boring.
Boring.
Well, What? Go on, just elaborate though. What? I'm
Well,
bored.
I'm
You
new
see, I'm
Who, right?
bored with-
I'm new Who. I don't
Yes.
know who I haven't seen enough classic Who, and this majestic audience, mythical audience they're going for, doesn't know who the Rani is. Like I don't. Sorry, everyone. I don't know a lot about Omega. I know the basics, but I've not seen it. So this is what I mean. They kept saying in the first series and the second series, we're not going to have the classic monsters back. They didn't even show them in this episode when he said, "Oh, the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Weeping Angel," even though the image of an angel becomes an angel. Idiot. So it just didn't. They keep getting away from all that lot, not having any more, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have the Rani, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that, we're gonna have Sutek." I don't know who any of these people are, and I don't care because you're not gonna do it anywhere near as well as the people back then did it. You're just taking. Have you got nothing left? Like, if you've got nothing, if you've got nothing original to do, it's just crap and it's boring and it's not going to interest anybody. Who's going to watch this? Who's going to read that and be like, oh, I might have a look at Doctor Who. You know, I reckon it'll be all right. Serious? I mean, these are getting paid for this.
There are some
real
people.
money, actual money.
We met them. Yeah, they go to the movie theater to watch this. It's going to be in the movie theater too. There are real people.
I mean,
I'm not even saying you're wrong, Sean, but
no, the people making it, like the people making it. But outside of the people already watching it, and there's barely any of them. And if they're enjoying it, I've got to make reviews who's enjoying it. Fair play. But outside of that, regular people, the audience have lost, aren't going to watch this. But this has been made by real people.
We know that. Yeah. We've seen the ratings. We know that.
I'm not trying to prove anything.
We see, okay, people are making, people are making a lot out of, are getting lots of views from just doing a show about the rumors and all the rest of it. I'm going to just place them here and say, we're not connected to anything. We acknowledge these are being talked about. If these are true, it means that RTD says one thing and does the other. Oh, there's a surprise. Because RTD was saying, we're not going to lean back on classic Who. We're not going to look backwards. Well, you're all over it like a rash. The other thing is, he's doing the worst things a Doctor Who writer can do. He's taken all the bag of tricks, so like regeneration, and they play with regeneration too much. It becomes just like, oh, regeneration. We used to absolutely so look forward to a regeneration as a really dramatic event. And now it's kind of, here's some regeneration vapor. Here's a little bit of a pretend regeneration. Here's a split regeneration. Here's a hocus pocus regeneration. Here's a hand regeneration. Here's a meta crisis. They've messed it so much. And that genie cannot be put back in the lamp. This is the problem. Him, Chibnall, and Moffat have played with the box of tricks so much that I don't think we can actually get this creche back together. And I think they have fundamentally damaged the program. What do you reckon, Ryan, on all this, if it was true?
I think the show has been fundamentally damaged, like, for quite a while at this point. Like, as I've said before, the show has already been dead, buried, resurrected. The corpse has been pulled out of the coffin, pissed all over, and then threw back into the ground again with a nail stuck in the skull's head. You know what? Genuinely, if that happens, would I be surprised? No. And yet again, it just annoys me because, yet again, as you just said, Russell made such a big deal. Oh, this is season 1. We're starting clean. We're starting fresh. End of that season, he uses a classic villain. If he does this, he's doing the same thing again. There's no, like, it's low bollocks. Honestly, I'm genuine. I'm thinking that something along those, from what I've heard as well, I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen, to be honest. And also possibly throw the Master in there as well for the crack. Throw him in there too.
This is like a kid who's got all the toys, like the Star Wars range as was. I know you can have them in Doctor Who now, but I'm just going back to my old head. And you can mix all all the toys and mix all the creatures that weren't ever on the show and in the movie. You can mix them all up. This is just like, it's a bit like Stephen Moffat did. There was a moment in the 5 Doctors rebooted, the 5-ish Doctors, when Peter Davis and Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy did that lovely little comedy. And in it, Stephen Moffat's at his desk playing with figurines going.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that. This is a fan aged 5 fantasizing about what they would do if they were RTD as the showrunner.
Five-year-olds are more intelligent than this. 5-year-olds know what they want. This is just to echo what Ryan was saying. This show is, it's not even Doctor Who. Let's not kid ourselves and pretend this is Doctor Who. It's a random show with Doctor Who music at the beginning and somebody called the Doctor who isn't the Doctor. Outside of that, like, you're watching it and you're like, I don't know what the point of any of this is, and it's so bad that as a fan, whether like me, you're new Who and you're a diehard classic fan, you don't want them to bring any of your favorite doctors or monsters or villains or God, anybody back, because they'll just destroy it. Because this isn't, I watched that last episode, that episode we're reviewing. Sorry, it was the most like bitter, twisted. For some reason, you want to write a love letter somewhere else, fine, but why not write a love letter to Britain? That'd be nice for an actual British show, but never mind.
We will. I promise you, we're going to get to that with our what the f.
I see there's actually loads of people. I'm just noticing in the film there's loads of people from Northern Ireland in here. Yeah, up the Northern Ireland.
That's really good. So the crash is out of control again. The
Northeast, shout out. Let me hear you.
Yeah. And this is just another one, and then we move on. Yes, there's more rumours later, but I just want to get people going. Tinted Who here, who I normally get those lovely colorized photographs on. Oh God, they're including CGI versions of the first 4 Doctors and Elizabeth Sladen in the series finale. That's honestly low, even for RTD2 standards. Of all the things he could pay homage to, the multiverse cameo sequence in The Flash didn't exactly have to be one of them. Now, it's a rumor. Obviously, it's just a rumor. I'm not connected. I'm not connected.
They're actually digging up corpses now. Rest in peace, all those people. But rest in peace, Elizabeth Sladen, all the doctors that have gone. You're very, very well thought of. But Jesus H. Corbett, what on earth? If this is true, and a lot of the leaks have been, I'm yet to see leaks that aren't. Oh my! I told you. I've said it a million times in the chat when I've been watching these streams. They are going scorched earth. They're going Carthage on this. They want not even a scrap of your enjoyment left. They're coming for every damn thing that you love, and they're going to bury it into the ground and pummel it and spit on it and piss on it and then cack on it. Sorry, I've sworn again. Naughty step. They are coming for everything you hold dear.
What's all this other crap I'm hearing as well about something to do with the Underverse?
Oh yeah, I've got that coming up. Don't worry. Yes.
Like, I'm like, no, I don't care. I really don't give a shit anymore.
So as you can see, the children of time are not taken to this very well at all. I don't know whether they need a lie down. I'm not quite sure because this is. I mean, Sonny, this is incendiary stuff.
I am lying down. That's the irony.
If that genuinely happens, I'm telling you, like Russell T. Davis will not be able to walk down. He will not be ever able to go to a convention anymore because he will get.
But Ryan, this is it. Some people online, you'll have seen them. You get 2 sentences from the fugitive doctor in the last episode, and they're going, "Oh my God, all my Christmases came at once," and I'm going, "What?" And
all that done was serve as a good advert for Big Finish, because immediately after that episode aired, they put out their trailer for the new Fugitive Doctor box set.
Ew, I'm not reading that.
Yeah.
I'm listening to that.
So, Sonny, I think before the thread asked me how you were struggling. You wouldn't like this to happen in the finale either. Number one, I think, remember at San Diego last year, RTD mooted, didn't he? He said, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could have AI of every doctor on this TV screen? And with RTD, is he landing seeding us, sowing a seed for the future, so the impact is less. Because a lot of fans then went, "No way, you can't do that to William Hartnell. You can't do that to so and so."
RTD, we don't want your seed.
It's
We
my
do
turn,
not want your
Sean.
seed.
Okay, buddy.
God, no, so I know what. Actually, this has got to the point now, and I never thought I'd ever freaking say this. This has gotten that bad. I miss Judy Whittaker.
Yes,
Comparatively, I don't think there's a contest.
Like,
I
at
know.
least, you know what? As much as I hated Chris Chibnall's era, right, two good things about it, in my opinion. Number one, there was still enough there, even though Jodie Whittaker can't act, God bless the woman, but at least whenever you switched on the TV, you went, "Oh yeah, no, this is still Doctor Who. It's not good Doctor Who, but it's still very much Doctor Who. It still had all of the elements." And to be fair, Chris Chibnall could write good Dalek stuff. Fair play, he could write Daleks quite well. So I went on the rant there.
Well, I thought I would get you all riled up tonight. I know, as Garbage is saying, only 37 likes. We are trying to give a hell of a service tonight. Maybe, I think sometimes people only like when they like what they're hearing. Obviously, tonight they might be shocked at what they're hearing, and therefore you don't like. But don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. We're reporting it to you. If we could write the show, as I showed you last week, my manifesto looks slightly different. But yes, I think we'll move on now to a bit more news. I don't think this is going to get any better for you, lads. I'm sorry. So what I wanted to ask you for a moment is this. If you looked at that, we've had 5 episodes out of 8. The season 2 villains so far have been nothing exciting, really. Mr. Ring-a-Ding, a barber, the lad who went a bit angry with his female boss in the well, Conrad Clark, who doesn't like, UNIT and writes conspiracies, those 3 troll Doctor Who fans, and AI Alan. I mean, gosh, I never thought. Do you see why? He's hoping that we get excited about those rumors about Omega, the Rani, the Master, Susan coming back, and the whole thing, because so far it has been pretty bland, and the villains have not been very villainous. It's been very
Yeah, I was like, even the good villains that I like Mr. Ring-a-Ding and Conrad are the best villains up here. And even they're like not even real villains, right?
Nah. Well, all these gods are dealt with in 40 minutes, so they're rubbish. Yeah. The rubbish gods. I mean, it was more exciting getting a new pope with the white smoke. That took a bit longer than this. This is crazy. Sean, your thoughts so far on this season of villainy?
I mean, the majority of them are desperately in need of a tan. But to be honest, I mean, I just don't know. What do you say? It's just been. I've got nothing. I've got absolutely nothing. Nothing left.
The thing is, Sean,
it's
if you go,
rubbish.
Well, to help you,
I can't. Yeah, sorry, go on, mate. Yeah.
No, yeah, to help you, if you go online, sometimes people are saying, "Oh God, this is such a better series than last series." Now, I suppose you could argue that production-wise, it looks so it's got its shit together a bit more. But
yeah, but that's like comparing solid shit to diarrhea. You know what I mean?
That's what you got to do to cope. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sean, if something's good, you don't have to shout from the rooftops. If a book's good, you don't have to skip down the street shouting at your neighbours, going, "Oh my God, I've just read The Shining. It was amazing. It was amazing. I feel represented and seen." I don't know what that means about me and The Shining, but read The Shining. It's amazing. You don't need to do it. If a show's good, or a book or a film or a TV, it stands on its own 2 feet. If people don't find it immediately, they'll find it later on. If people think this is good, and there are out there, fine. But stop trying to convince everybody else, the other 10 million who used to watch this, that this is any good. It's awful. It's absolutely, I've got nothing to say. If someone enjoys this, fine. But don't try and convince me, because I've got 2 eyes, thankfully, that work. I've got a brain that works a bit. and I've got a sense of taste in quality. Don't try and convince me that this is any good. It's like trying to convince me a pizza's good for me. It isn't.
Well, Sean, I'll do this for you. For example, season 19 with Peter Davison, you had the Pteroleptals, you had the Urbankans, you had the Cybermen, you had the Master, you had the Mara. That was a classic season of Doctor Who. One more, season 12, Tom Baker, Cybermen, Daleks, Davros, Sontarans, the Robot, the Wirren. And then we get this season a cartoon character, a barber. I mean, Jamie, my partner, said if they'd done a version of the Barber of Seville or Sweeney Todd or something like that, Sweeney Todd would have been really interesting. You know, like they did the Jack the Ripper, Talons of Wen Cheyenne. If they'd gone and done something like that instead of we're going to pick a barber shop in Lagos. Oh, what?
He's got to be inventive. Got to be inventiveness. It's like Chris Eccleston's series. I can say off the top of my head. First episode, the nesting consciousness. Episode 2, Cassandra. Then you end up with the Slitheen. You end up with the gas mask zombie, the Reapers. You end up with the Daleks coming back. You end up with You end up with. I love the Reapers. You end up with I call him Max, the Holy Jagrafess. You end up with all that going on. Like, there's probably a couple I've missed. You know, Captain Jack comes into it. I know he's not a villain, kind of, sometimes. Amazing. Like, I could probably do it off the top of my head for series 2. This isn't anywhere near. Like, you watch how bad this is, isn't it? It makes you hanker for, like, Fear Her. And episodes like that you really didn't think were very good the first time around. People are like, I'm not so sure.
Let's bring in Sonny, because Sonny, I know you're in the chat with me, but I can't keep up with the thread. What is it? Is it, go on.
Because you were like you were talking about a classic season of Peter Davison. I was like, whoa, Peter Davison classic. But I mean, I understand what you're talking about. Like it's just you just have to put good monsters with a good setup and a story, right? And that's what these last 2 seasons are really lacking, which is why you can't say, or you can't classify it as a classic. But I think it's cope to go back and go like the past episodes that weren't good, these are great now. These are all great now because we have really bad Doctor Who. I don't know. I would keep my ratings the same and stay objective about it.
Well, my objectivity is the season 12 for Tom Baker, obviously Barry Letts teed most of that up with the Daleks and the Cybermen and everything. But you had the Ruin, and you had the Think Tank and the Robot. And there's 2 new creatures, and they were good. And then the Pteroleptals were brand new. The Mara was brand new. The Urbankans was brand new. There was still a lot of newness. Now, you could say, well, Conrad Clark's new, but hello, an agenda.
What I would say as well, though, like, I think like it does happen a lot, especially like it did happen a lot with classic Doctor Who and some seasons of New Who, where everybody hates it. Like, this is a very much a running theme of Doctor Who. There very much is a case, we hated that, until the next one comes along, and then it goes, oh, actually, that wasn't so bad. We like that now. No, I don't think. Now, it's already happened with Jodie Whittaker. A lot of people have actually went back to Jodie Whittaker and went, actually, you know what? I like some of this. Okay, that's fine. I don't think anyone who currently dislikes season 1 and season 2 of this is going to go back in 3 or 4 years' time and go, I like this now. I think this is anyone who currently doesn't like this is always going to dislike this, I think, because it doesn't feel like Doctor Who in the slightest anymore.
No, and we're coming to it. Derek Hart, question 2 to the panel. Would there be any episodes made if Disney didn't give their money to Rtd'S episodes? Would there be any 60th anniversary stories made? I think the BBC have always been having moments. They had a moment when David Tennant left, when they wondered whether they should cancel and just leave it. Can you top David Tennant, so to speak? But isn't it funny how things have changed?
He's not having a good week, is he?
No, might have to do a saloon on that. But then equally, you know, that we had the, you know, when RTD leaves, we had the moment, you know, when Chibnall's era's collapsing around them. And then, of course, a few things kind of came into play. I don't know the answer, Derek Hart, myself. I just think it's one of those where he's got a name, RTD, Disney interested, think, well, it's a safe pair of hands. It's just, isn't it ironic that the safe pair of hands, like I said, what do they always say? Familiarity breeds contempt. And he is so familiar with Doctor Who because he's a fan that he's actually tinkered with it too much and he's destroyed it. And that's the disappointing thing there. You should have had some outsider in, I think, myself. That would have helped. Right. Okay. So we've done a bit of champing at the bit. So basically, funny enough, Ryan, did you see this? David Tennant says he won't return to Doctor Who again, at least for a while. I think, to be quite honest, nobody's going to be asking you.
Yeah, he's not having a good week.
No. But it
turns out David Tennant's not all that cool anymore, but there we go.
But why would that be? All he's done is slag off a black leader of the opposition, wishing she didn't exist. And unfortunately, she, you know, as in she was just a member of the government then, she's now the leader of the opposition. In some way, she's even more powerful because she's the leader of the opposition. So, oh dear, that didn't go down well. White man slagging off black woman saying, I wish you didn't exist. The trans issues moved a bit. Supreme Court has made a decision. So David Tennant's on the wrong side of a few things. Plus his show made no sense and tanked and has been taken off ITV. And of course, I have said, and I think we've all said it, David Tennant has been overused on Doctor Who. Boring.
To be fair, like, arguably, he's been, I think maybe it's not just Doctor Who. I think maybe he's been overused in a lot of stuff. And I think maybe a lot of people are just sick of seeing him in everything.
Sick of hearing his opinions, I think. Definitely. Like, there is something that you learn. No, you don't have to have an opinion on everything. I honestly think the rise of, like, social medias and the internet has done it in for these actors, because before all they had to do was turn up and do a good film. And now we get to hear about their opinions, and a lot of them come across like they're a bit daft, or they don't know a lot, or they're not, you know. But there's one thing people don't like, and I would say English, but it goes across the globe as well. There's one thing we don't like. It's being told how to think. It's being told we're wrong. It's being told that, oh no, you just, like, I don't know if you're going to come with Brennan. Sorry if you do, or if you've already done it on Sunday, or Millie Gibson coming out and saying, don't believe your eyes, just suck it up and see.
Sean,
are you coming to it?
There. I've clicked.
Yeah. The show is so pure and beautiful. That's the whole thing with this. All I've got is like, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Oh my God, the Fugitive Doctor came back. That made my Monday. And you're like, great, good for you. But dear God, if that's all you've got, you need to get a little bit. You need a little bit more.
I want my scary monsters and aliens back again. I don't give a shit about any of that.
I think it's starting to get disappointing that it seems to be shooty. Jodie Whittaker, white male gaze, RTD, the whole of the Bad Wolf team. I mean, Jane Tranter's heavily involved in this anti-J.K. Rowling thing, anti-Supreme Court ruling. Isn't it funny how all the lefties have suddenly gone against what the judges are saying? That's naughty.
There's only Capaldi and Matt Smith left.
Well, you had Verada Sethu, didn't you? Verada Sethu, and now you've got Millie Gibson. Just watch it and get over it. The show is so pure and beautiful. There's nothing pure about it, actually. It's sinister. When we get to the episode talking about the Nigerian episode, we're all being quite polite at the moment. And she says, I think because of the way the world is, they're making jabs. Oh, this is another way of saying relentless noise. There's a noise that's relating to this. It's not really necessary. It is, Millie Gibson. It is very, very necessary. If you don't push back on stuff, an untruth becomes a truth. Have you
Right.
read your 1984, Millie Gibson? Have you done your research? Do you know what you're talking about? Go on,
And
Ryan.
that's what I
I
think
was
the
just
way
gonna
the world
say,
is.
Duncan put in the chat, and I have to agree perfectly because that's exactly what I'm doing at the minute and having such a wonderful time. Is all true fans have basically given up and they're all going back and just rewatching John Pertwee episodes. That's what I'm
Well,
currently, and I'm just having. I know it's such a problem whenever I sit down and just watch, like, say, a Pertwee episode. I'm like, oh my, I am having so much fun watching this. Why could I not have, like, watching Doctor Who now just feels like a fucking headache. You know what I mean?
well,
It's awful,
look,
isn't it?
well, look, I have Horus editorial here as very being very generous and said tonight this panel is epically funny, intelligent, and lovable. That's it. Keep it up. Well, thank you for that, and for that I obviously have to
Cheers.
do my due diligence. There you go. Thank you very much, because they are working hard, those Who-pets. And when the money comes in, it's really nice for them because, you know, they don't get out much. There you go. So we've got so much news, it's hard to keep up, isn't it? But just to make sure you stay calm, you in the creche here, this Children of Time, remember Russell Davies only just a few weeks ago explained he had no time for reactions from online warriors.
No
Someone
doubt.
always brings up matters of diversity, and they are online warriors accusing us of diversity and wokeness and involving messages and issues. And I have no time for this. I don't have a second to bear, because what you might call diversity, I just call an open door.
Shut your mouth.
But
Shut your mouth. Just shut it.
yet,
Shut your mouth.
yet one of the biggest villains was a podcaster this season. So, but to be fair, he did get all of the talking points wrong. So he wasn't listening to the actual podcaster. So maybe he's right. You don't have time. I don't know.
I just want to respond actually to what Bob said in the chat, because Bob has said, are we not going to talk about the political writing in Pertwee's years? Yes, we talk about it very often. But as I would say, there's something very, very different that is incredibly well written and leaves you to have your own opinion on the situation instead of completely ramming it down your throat and going, if you don't think this way, if you don't believe this, you are wrong and you are the enemy. But yes, we are, the Doctor Who has always been political, but it's been very well written. That's the difference.
Never
Bob
told her
Hayes-
how to think.
Bob Hurst,
Yeah.
I'll say this, for example. Of course, there was political messaging. There has to be political messaging in a science fiction story. That goes with the territory. As an expert, I know. But what I will say is this. When you write a 7-episode story called the Silurians, when you write The Ambassadors of Death, when you write Inferno, when you write a 6-episoder, you have time to world build and build consistency, build subplots so that there's nuance allowed, so that when you have an agenda, you can show shades of grey in how people should respond to it.
Put it this way, in my opinion, like the show in the classic, the show doesn't suffer because of whatever the writer's agenda is. You know, the agenda is, it's something that's there in those particular, like Green Death's a perfect example, or Inferno, but it's still very much focuses on Doctor Who being Doctor Who. It's not putting the show at risk to try and say something, in my opinion. But
I mean, Pete Merritt has said here, and this is kind of what I've been saying, that if you want to say he's been very political this year, it's not the politics that used to be in Doctor Who, though. This is identity politics. This is gender politics. It never was. It was, environment, Green Death, that sort of thing. And again, it was still not on the nose, because when you insist on doing a 1-episode story and everything sorted by 40 minutes, 39 minutes, you only have one choice, which is to ram the message very unsubtly down the audience's throat if they're still there. But they'd rather watch somebody with their eyelids pulling a car on the other side, actually. And that's proven by statistics.
I just want to say something as well, though. I'm just like, sometimes maybe, you know, we like, it might come across like we put all of classic Doctor Who and all of like sort of like the earlier part of New Who up on this pedestal. Do not get me wrong. There is some absolute horrendous episodes in classic Doctor Who and old New Who. But like, end of the day, for every time flipping flight you had, you know, flipping Earthshock, you know what I mean? It still very much felt like the same show. And like, you didn't have consistent, like, multiple rubbish seasons stacked along beside each other.
Well, people are champing at the bit now, and quite rightly so. I know we'll get into it. Chris Lawley, for example, is saying, let's talk about politics of Nigeria, West Africa, where homosexuality is illegal, where most powerful tribes now are descendants of slavers. We are. Oh, don't you worry, Chris. I've got the slides. I've got the details. We are ready on that one. Don't you worry. I'm not allowing that to go. And liberal Zardoz, old sci-fi writing invited you to think about morality and issues. Modern writing tells you what to think. And isn't that dangerous? You have to give space for the reader or the audience to have their own mind. If you don't allow the audience to have their own mind, what does that make you? What does that make you? And it's not nice.
No.
I'm sorry, RTD. I was a teacher. You don't ram a message down the throat. You invite them to question it themselves. And I just think we've got people who are wanting to educate using Doctor Who, and they don't know how to educate. They just know how to ram a message. So it's different. It's unsubtle and it's boring. And it's not a good place to be. So let's move on to, I mean, Story in the Engine's coming up. I am pressing all my wrong buttons because I'm getting excited. It is What the F, and we've waited quite a while for What the F tonight. It's shocking, isn't it?
Can I just say, Brendan, before we move off that point about RTD, that what you call online warriors, you used to call fans. You used to call fans people who love the show, because if we didn't care, we weren't bothered. We wouldn't even be discussing it. We'd be doing something else. That if you want to look at how far films and TV and the disgusting attitude of some of the people that make these shows and make these films, look at the new Mission Impossible film. There's actually been people making comments that, oh my God, Tom Cruise is promoting this film and he's just talking about the film. He won't talk about politics. Yeah, he knows how to promote a film. He's not an idiot.
I'm so excited about it. I cannot wait for Mission Impossible. I am so excited for it.
Right, well, let's get going because people are desperate for us to talk about this. And well done, JWC Reviews. Yeah, we'll get a bit of Pink Floyd in there, yeah? We don't need no education. Right, here we go. Okay, so let's get going. So I will shut my face. Sean, what the F regarding the episode set in a barber shop in Nigeria? What the F?
It was just this was the episode. I mean, because people have made points before about this isn't Shooty Gatwa playing the Doctor, and I blame the writers as well. This is Shooty playing himself. They've turned the Doctor into him. And if the only reason was the fact it wasn't Rwanda, where Shooty's from, it was, where was it? Nigeria.
Yeah.
Then they turned the Doctor into Shooty, or into just any regular Joe. That's an American phrase from a different country in Africa. Because I said to you earlier, and this is genuinely. What one of the lads at work said to me, he said him and his wife were flicking through the channels on Saturday evening. They flicked over to this show, didn't know what it was because he used to watch it. And he thought, oh, this looks a bit interesting. And then the minute they saw Shooty, he realized it was Doctor Who and he was like, oh, no, get it off. I'm not watching this. So that's what this show's done. So my WTF is this isn't, it reminds me of Geordie's first series, and I will slightly agree with Sonny a little bit, in that it wasn't like it was boring, but it wasn't like massively like, oh god, it just isn't Doctor Who. You're watching it, and I'm watching it for this, but you're watching it going, oh, it's all right, but it don't really do anything. It's like it's like Aldi's version of Pepsi Max. It's all right, it does the job, but it's not the real Pepsi Max. If you know what I mean, it's just not. It was, yeah. Sorry, there's about 800 points in there, isn't there? But it's just,
Yeah.
it was just boring. Really, really boring.
Yeah, well, we'll keep going for it. I mean, I was saying it was a mixture of the Graham Norton big red chair, where basically you sit in the barber's chair, tell a story, and it powers a bloody spider in space. Please tell me about that one. It had it really was a cheap take on the Rins of Akaten that's already been done, where you sing to the god. It had an essence of The Simpsons were there first, and I was showing them this on the Saturday night. The Simpsons have done it. The other thing was it had an element of Prison Break, didn't it, with the braided hair? It was doing all those tricks. The other one is Roots.
Did you get what it was about, though? Oh, Roots is a great shot. And the remake, Roots is a good shot, and the remake from 2017 is really good as well, if anybody hasn't caught that. But honestly, the whole show, I tried to work out what it was about, and from what I could figure about, it was about a writer who spat his dummy out because he didn't get credit. I was like, really? It was bizarre. Bizarre.
Well, this is Shuti Gatwa actually tweeting this to thank him for writing this episode, because Shuti Gatwa wanted a story set in Nigeria. He knows the history of Nigeria, and he knows why his family came away from Rwanda. But he decided he wanted to do a love letter, it seemed. Boy, my heart is very full after this weekend. And he's writing to the writer, a whole Doctor Who episode set in Africa. In Noah Ellams, you are incredible. Makala, she's the director. You're a flipping supernova, and thank you for everything. The incredible makeup team, headed by blah, blah, blah. Costume genius, Pam Down. You just elevate the show time and time again. This cast, it was so special to film with this cast, man. Exceptional bunch of mother lovers. This was a special one to work on. Can you imagine how top tier the jokes were on this? And Varada Seethu, getting to travel the universe is a dream. Yeah, it's a bit like, I could almost say the word captured. It's a bit like RTD said last year, we are the ones who run the media now. We lead on the message. And he got a little bit interesting on that one. Oh, yes, Kamala Harris. And he was all this, and he was again behind the zeitgeist. This sounds too, I don't know. They were very pleased. And when you saw Unleashed, they seemed very pleased. And bless them, I say it every time, the people behind the scenes, their passion and their skill is brilliant. And, you know, the time. Have you seen the photographs of that set where the tree was, you know, the two-hearted tree sort of thing?
Yeah.
The sets had so much intricate detail that the director didn't pick up. And you just saw all the time wasted on this. And was pants, but the people making it seem to think this is almost like a beautiful episode, but it had no story.
You would think they would make a bigger outrage about it than the people making it, because the tree had one scene, right? Right, and so it's like, it's just. And then in this, he's praising like the cosplay. That's what he's talking about. And then like mother lovers and the jokes. And I was like, what jokes? This was barely funny. It was funny to laugh at, I guess, and not the way you think of, but it just shows I call it a slave mindset, but it's more of a gynocentric mindset. And I guess they think people in Africa are gonna watch this and go like, oh, I want Shooty in my country. We should change the laws now. Like, I don't know what they think they're getting from this.
I think, Sonny, this kind of beds in, you know, that quotation we got from Varada Seethu saying she and Shooty were in the TARDIS set and they were laughing, saying, oh, they're going to get so pissed off about this, about our cast now in the TARDIS. And then when you read this, they are really a little bit full of themselves about.
Yeah, but we don't see the world like that. I don't see the world like that. I am not shallow or prejudiced to see the world how they see it. I don't look at this series of Doctor Who. I don't count the faces of one colour. I don't count the faces of another. I genuinely don't care. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm here for a good show. That's all I'm here for. And the way they act, it's so regressive. It's so regressive. Like, do they think this is going to help anyone? Anyone genuinely? You know, is this going to make some young kid or some young adult who is very like Shooty, who might happen to be gay, and this gives them the idea of what it might be like to go back? Really? I mean, I'm just suggesting here. Like, is that a very clever way to put up there? You know, you talk about people's truths and about showing people's experiences, right? Okay, you want to set a Doctor Who story in Africa, right? Go for it. Make it gritty. Make the Doctor, like, I don't know, having been dragged off and, you know, because of the way that he acts, that he's you know, a little bit kind of, he's very animated and he comes across a little bit camp, and they don't like that. And you could have really made and have good writing. When you drag it down to one set,
they would.
you lose it.
If they could,
well, yeah, they don't have the skill. They don't have the skill.
Yeah.
The people who
Well,
working on the show, they should have the skill, though. Otherwise, what the hell are they doing there?
Well, as Chris Lawley asked us earlier, and I know Ryan was just talking to me as we were about to go live, so I'll just show these slides now, and then I've done my bit on my what the F, and then it might lead into what some people were thinking. And a lot of people have been thinking, I've seen it. The inclusivity and diversification argument. In some parts of the earth, says the Doctor, I'm now treated differently. My mum, as you know, is not a Doctor Who fan. She was round today, and I told her about this episode, and I said, we have a doctor in the TARDIS, a black doctor, saying he doesn't feel accepted and treated well in many parts of the world, hint, hint, but he felt better in a barber shop in Nigeria where being gay is illegal. So he says, we can boost the Vindicate if we go to Lagos, Nigeria. It has the largest communications technology market in Africa. Yeah, but you're the Doctor. Go to the largest communications technology market in the world, surely, or the universe. Anyway, it is near Omo's Palace. I don't go there for my haircuts. It's a bit hard to explain. No, well, you do it. I've had this black body in some parts of the earth. I'm now treated differently. But here in Africa, oh yes, it's now a continent, as in everything's the same. Oh, I don't think that's it's a bit out there, isn't it? You're supposed to say every country is different. In that barbershop, I'm accepted. I'm able to forget. We laugh. We tell stories. You know that stoning of that lad in North Nigeria. You know that gay family round the corner in Nigeria. They're in jail for 14 years now. We laughed. You know, this is the truth, and people have seen me show this, and I just want to be honest because this is the truth. In an opinion poll in Nigeria 2 years ago, 92% strongly oppose same-sex marriage. So you can just get the gist. In law, not a colonial law. They love to blame the colonies and the British Empire. They've had a lot of time to change their laws, and they've had a law introduced in 2017, so it's all on them. Prohibited the registration of gay clubs, societies, and organizations, prohibited the public show of same-sex amorous relationships, directly or indirectly, made a person who enters into a same-sex marriage contract or civil union liable for 14 years jail, and made a person who registers, operates, or participates in gay clubs or societies liable for 10 years in jail. In northern Nigeria, it has Sharia law. You would still be stoned to death. So there you go. There's the truth. And he says he is so happy to go there and laugh and tell stories. And I'm just saying there's only so far you can go, RTD. Inaya Elams, you might like your country. Go for it, mate. But don't tell lies.
Well, it's throwing shade at the UK as well. Sorry, Sonny, go on, mate. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, sure, he could have done this anywhere. That's the truth. But they're telling lies, and it's evil. They're the real evil ones. You can go.
The thing is, Sonny, it would have been lovely if it was a homage to Nigerian folklore or something, and just done that. There's nothing wrong with that. But he had to have that TARDIS scene before it to slag off somewhere else. That was the bit that didn't work.
I was gonna say, what happened to the great race messaging in Lux? It makes me sad for that episode because it's like he actually handled racism perfectly in Lux, and then he goes to where all the black people are and gets more racist. Makes perfect sense, actually.
Yeah, I mean, so Ryan, you asked me before we started. There's the truth. I mean, you know, I can't believe it, really.
Yeah, like, it's quite funny that, you know, because obviously Shooty Gat was from there. And you know what? Just hypothetically, right, I'll give me a minute. Hypothetically, say if I was cast as the Doctor and I got to film an episode in Northern Ireland, oh, I would be so proud. That would be incredible. But very different circumstances, though. You know, I say if I was a gay man living here, it's not illegal. I can get married. I'm not going to get stoned to death. I just thought it was very, like, the hypocrisy is ridiculous. The fact is, like, obviously the scene that's on the screenshot there was very much a dig at the UK. That's how I took it, though. I took it as a dig at the UK and, like, well, the West in general. Okay, if the West is that bad, why did your family have to basically go, like, leave Nigeria in the first place and come to the UK? Like, basically the country that opened its arms to you, give you the career that you now have, and now you're very much going, oh yeah, well, we're going to do all this whole over. We're going to go backwards here. Oh yes, I'm going to, instead of maybe calling out that the fact that in 2025, that your original country of origin is still very much backwards. No, you're going to slag off the country.
I mean, I will correct you on one thing. Sorry. Shooty Gatwa was born in Rwanda. Okay.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Well, there we go.
Yeah, but there was a genocide there. It was hardly, you know, sweetness and honey there. But the point is, and on my Who Night show, I had a map and I showed you that if his parents were fleeing for their life, the genocide was extremely serious and millions died. They came to Scotland. They obviously judged Scotland was safe, and it was safe, and he's had a decent life here. And then to be part of a program that has a dig, I think is uncharitable, is disingenuous, is disrespectful, and is out of order, I have to say. And that's just wrong.
It's if Shooty wanted to try, you know, if he wanted to use his position, his fame, or whatever his visibility, whatever you want to call it, if he wanted to use that to try and get a conversation started, I don't know what the laws are like in Rwanda, to be fair. If he wanted to use this show or his own standing, if he wanted to use his own standing, his own fame to have these discussions, go for it, mate. I'll be a 1,000,000% behind you. I've got friends who can't work in certain parts of the world because of their orientation, because they've got a husband rather than a wife. And when you're from a country like this, and this is a very progressive country, we believe in a private life, and it's all legal and above board. You do you. It's not our business. You crack on. That's fine. You want to get married. You want to have a family. Fine. But then to compare us unfavorably with other countries, that it's just very strange. So I don't disagree with him trying to, but that's not what's happening here. You're taking a show and you're changing it and molding it out of all recognition, and then you're telling people who criticize, hang on a minute, like, we're not criticizing who's in it, what color they are, what sexuality they are. We're just saying, our good show that we had that we really used to enjoy watching, it's a bit rubbish nowadays. Oh my God, well, you just don't like this and this and this. No, hang on a minute. No, like, we just don't like what we're watching. Like, how can't you get your head? We're not talking about your worldview or your politics. That's not relevant.
Well, what's worse?
I just find it so hilarious. So the fact is, as we currently sit here speaking right now, like, if they want to put a message in, put a message in. But as we sit here right now, there is literal genocides happening in the world as we speak. But yet nothing's ever said. Not a single thing. We're the problem. You know, like
In
we're the
Africa, I'm
problem.
pretty sure.
Like, and that's the way that so much media now is trying to. Now, I have noticed. Now, politically, I'm very. Well, quite frankly, I don't really give a shit. I'm very much live and let live. But I have noticed quite a big shift in recent months over the past couple of years in politics. And I'm now starting to think, you know what? I think that if you're going to put this show up against the general public, this show is on the wrong side of that. But
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
No, I think it's in a problem, and this is what we all said, and we weren't all saying RTD can't come back. We all weren't saying we don't want Shooty Gatwa. We weren't saying this stuff. But if you're going to have a black gay doctor, which he decided to do, you've just, well, number one, making him a Barbie doll who does dress up all the time. I think that cheapens him. That's number one criticism. The other thing is you've made the first ever black doctor spout a message having a dig at the white mainstream of the country who took his family in, and then in his script he's given words to eulogize about a country that is actually doing major harm. And yet RTD said he has to bring in an emotional doctor as number 15 because of the dark times we're in for queer rights. So therefore this script has to be on the money, Sean.
Yeah, it just made rights. What you mean here? Like, I think we're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No,
we're not perfect. Nowhere is, but
you know what he's waffling on about. Queer rights. It's the T bit. You know, I mean, I've got no rights I'm fighting for. We're very happy. Britain has been very, very decent to gay people, so there's no issue. It's the other bit now.
I don't know. A mess.
That's what I mean. He says it's dark times for queer rights. The Q stands for straight people. That's what it means. So I'm sorry. I'm not buying into it. Not buying into it at all. It's a lot
questioning. I think is that what it means.
Well,
I think is it questioning.
Well,
no, genuinely, it's a genuine question.
Well, I question the bloody word. I hate the word. It's horrible. And you know. This is Doctor Who, for God's sake. Sometimes you see the photographs and you're going, this could have been good. This could have been exciting. I mean, one of the other What the F's lads was using the classic Doctors. I mean, what did you make of that? Because John Daly on Sunday, one of our panelists, was going mad saying it's bathing like the good stuff about Doctor Who in the controversial stuff. So you can't unwind it. You can't.
Sorry, Brandon, I've remembered.
Go on.
Sorry, I've remembered what my point was going to be. Sorry. I was excited for Shooty to be the Doctor. I watched Sex Education, quite liked it. It was all right for the first series and 2. It lost itself somewhat. There was an episode, I think in series 2, where Eric goes to, can't remember where it was. He went back to Africa, to his country. I can't remember where it was. And he went there, and he obviously went there, and his family were like, "Are you going to dress quote unquote normally?" Because he in the show, if anyone hasn't seen it, he's very kinky boots. If you've ever seen that film, he wears makeup and glitter and all that kind of thing, which is fair enough, fine, no one's bothered. But when he goes there, his family are like, are you gonna dress more masculine? Are you gonna, because you can't do that there. And in that episode, I think another lad kind of catches his eye, and then they end up at some secret underground gay nightclub. And it was a really good episode to show that, like, people will find themselves, even if they're in a situation where the law or the society isn't in a place where they'll accept it, or it's heavily religious. It was a good episode. It didn't tell you how to think, from what I remember. It was quite open-ended. And when they were going to do it here, I thought, oh, okay, you've got a chance to build that in and do something similar. So it can be done. There's nothing wrong if they want to do that, but you still have to have a coherent story around it.
While you were talking then, I've just checked it up, and I knew it was just about 99% sure it was Nigeria. So the actor, this is when you think, right, which audience are you playing to, Shooty Gatwa? You're in your 30s, you're a man. Now, you've given a script in Sex Education, and your character goes to Nigeria and all the stuff you've just said, Sean. And of course, sex between men is criminalized. And so he has a very difficult experience there. And that's done quite well in sex education, actually. And sometimes sex education goes light and it goes comedic, but they did it right there. The same actor who acted out and read that script a couple of years later is extremely happy to do this script. Now, I'm sorry, where's his credibility? If it was a 6-year-old, I could understand that they haven't joined the dots. He's a grown man. He is political. He's given he's done interviews about queer rights and all the rest of it. Well, how dare you put your name to this script, mate?
He's fake.
I don't understand. I don't understand how. Sorry, mate. I don't understand how you could read this and not go, hang on a minute, I'm not. You know, because we all love a paycheck, right? Let's not kid ourselves. How many of us would go to work if we weren't given any money, you know? But at the same time, you've still got your integrity as a person. Yes, you're an actor, but you've got your integrity as a person to say, no, I'm not happy putting I'm not happy putting my name to this. I'm sorry, I won't do it. You know, so it does make me wonder why. Because like they seem to think it's this beautiful story about camaraderie and that people say, oh, it's about kind of like this kind of like how stories used to be passed down before we had the written word, about they would be passed down in folklores and person to person. Yeah. And this episode seems to be making the point now that Africa or certain countries in Africa are very much like that, and it's this oral tradition, this oral history, which is fine, no bother. God, I did enough of it in English when we did about South Africa and the apartheid, and a lot about poems. I can't remember the guy who did the poems. Anyway,
yeah, well,
something about the shimmer down the glass.
That was
a bomb. Anyway,
the issue is,
so yeah.
The issue is Gatwa has no character. He didn't have any ideas. He didn't come up with those ideas in sex education. Sex education had a better writing team, better staff, people who cared about the message they were pushing, and a better story. So he was able to act better, right? Well, this isn't for him. This role isn't even for him, and the story isn't for anybody.
Right. Well, I'm trying to get lots of different things in. Obviously, the classic doctors I asked you about, and we went somewhere else. So we'll move on now. Fugitive Doctor was there. Yeah, I know. We've got to be on it now. So Fugitive Doctor was mentioned. If that was a what the F issue, I know Rachel had an issue about that. If anyone wants to bring that up, I'll just show you a few, and then we'll move on as well.
That was my biggest jump scare.
He made the point about the World Wide Web being ugly, which I thought was a nasty attack again on a British inventor, funnily enough. And then, of course, I know Ryan earlier on today was talking about did it make sense? And, of course, I've got all the transcripts there just in case. So, of course, Ryan, any other remaining what the Fs before we move on?
I suppose that's the whole Joe Martin thing, I suppose. The Fugitive Doctors just very just out of fucking nowhere. It was like, no, I didn't like. And the fact is, well, am I right in saying though that the doctor shouldn't even remember that? Am I right? Am I wrong there or not? Can someone please enlighten?
If you're talking about plot, yes, you're always right, Ryan. The plot makes no sense. Yes.
Because Shitty Gatwa's doctor shouldn't remember her. I don't know. It's a fucking mess. Sorry for my language. Like it just didn't need to be there, which is now making me think: have they stuck that in there because they're going to do something else with her later?
It definitely did need to be there because they were establishing that every time the doctor turns black, he runs to Africa. It doesn't matter what doctor it is. He's black. He has to go to Africa now.
But sure, we said earlier in the episode that he's never had a black body before, you know, and then in the same episode, this happens.
Yeah. You think it was supposed to make sense?
All right, okay. Oh, so I was just expecting a site like this TV program to make sense.
That's why your brain hurts.
I think
don't do that.
Would you?
Go on. So I'll quickly say this, just help Ryan. Ryan, what seems to have happened here, and I think it happens a lot because they've rushed 2 series through, is the script editor has missed a bit here because the script's happened. It says my black body. Oh, lovely speech in the TARDIS. And then RTD's, because remember, this is a tiny cameo scene. And in an interview the other day, RTD said, we have this really diverse cast, this real great representation of Nigeria and people of color. And I thought we need the fugitive doctor in it. And I just wonder whether he's laid, he's pummeled the message even more and thought we need her in. No reason why, no narrative reason. So she's been put in later, and then it actually screws up the script, as you say. Sonny?
Did you notice in that big picture at the end where Gatwa and all the actors, they didn't invite Joe Martin into the picture? She was not in that picture.
No, she wasn't there.
Nope.
No, she wasn't there. Sean, you had something to say?
This wasn't diverse.
No.
It wasn't diverse.
No.
Diverse is including or involving people from a range of different backgrounds, social class, etc. This wasn't. This was the opposite. This was the complete opposite. And like that's, I mean, would it not have been better, or at least I would have enjoyed it? I can only talk for myself, to have a doctor, because I wanted them to do this with Jodie, but they never. Her doctor, I wanted the doctor to change from being what the doctor. Well, I didn't want them to change, but the doctor's gone from being what they've always been, right? A white man. That's not a lie. We can see it. Well, they're not a man, they're Gallifreyan, but whatever. And they changed to being a woman, or they changed to being black. I was looking forward and hoping that they would more go down the line of a little bit like as Sonny was talking about, and as we've all talked about in the Lux episode, where he says something like, sometimes I just shine, you've got to let people get there in their own time type thing.
Yeah.
I wanted the doctor to be very much like as a woman, or as the first black doctor, or second, I don't know how they're counting it now, to be like, oh, doctor, you're getting stares. Oh, well, they'll get over it. I just to have that air of superiority that the doctor's got, like, just to have that kind of, that confidence, to have that, because isn't that a better message to have for everybody, regardless of whether you're piss poor, or you're rich, or you're black, or you're white, or you're English, or you're Rwandan, or Nigerian, or anything else in between, or whoever
be much more.
You will go where you will with your abilities. Your abilities
was much,
and your skills.
Doctor Who was much more universal. Yeah. That's the point. It was much more universal. You pull people together rather than apart. Now, Sonny's reminded me he hasn't done his what the F, and then we really are going to go like the clappers. Go on, Sonny.
It's my what the F is the fact that this episode actually had Doctor Who scenes. Like, it felt like I was watching Doctor Who for 2 moments when he's running through the corridors. Of course, they ruined it because he had his hands on his head and that whole thing was stupid. But leading into the reveal of the tree, all of that was like almost perfect. Like I sat up and I was actually watching the episode. So that's my what the F. This is the only episode so far that I've watched of season 2 that felt like Doctor Who, like real moments.
Well, you see, this is what I mean, Sonny. You've got, unfortunately, the spider didn't have any character.
Right.
That little clip then that we saw in the trailer.
Yeah, that jump scare was really cool too.
Yeah, that looked like
that was Doctor Who.
It literally shows the thing bloody blowing up, so that was already spoiled for anybody who bothered watching the trailer.
Yes, it was in Germany, wasn't it? But I've always said that this barber shop on a spider's back is very Doctor Who.
Yeah, that was very Doctor Who. Like, these were real Doctor Who moments that I would never attribute to any episode before this.
Yeah. So, I mean, in essence, though, because this is it. I mean, nothing much happened in the episode, so it's easy for us to review. We've all been saying it. What was it about? Because if it's about, you have to embrace everybody's stories, and stories is great for societies and traditions and carrying on, and a bit like Roots, the message, the story of Kunta Kinte, even though he's died, he lives on in the stories, oral tradition. That Nigeria clearly has an oral tradition. So did Britain. People sat in trees with a lute. We've all done it. So oral tradition. Okay.
See you in a tree.
The importance of storytelling. I get that, but I didn't get that this barber was mortal, but then has lived for centuries and would collect stories. And then once he got these stories, and he had a hocus pocus, almost blooming voodoo, this little kind of magic circle, and then suddenly that became a spider. That bit was not explained, made no sense, and that disconnect was my problem, because in the end, when the spider blew up, I didn't know whether I should be bothered or not.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the comments from JWC reviews. Oh dear me.
Oh, I have to
sorry.
agree. It definitely is always the best, both ways.
Right. Well,
It's just it was the thing is with this episode
is you're not listening to me. That's
well, I mean, when did the Doctor
Yeah.
start taking up firefighting?
What?
Go on. Nah, I don't listen.
Hold on. Hey, you're running the show your way now. Here we go. I asked you a question and you've all ignored me, and then you you jump into something else. Right.
I honest to God, I could not tell you what it was about. I don't know where the spider came from. I don't know how that manifested.
I typed it
Was
in.
it-
Back in the
Was he
comments.
trying to use the stories as fuel for the spider, so the spider can travel to where it needs to go, so then he can get revenge on the other gods? Or I didn't get it.
No, and like I said, as a Doctor Who fan, I can I can buy into the TARDIS is bigger on the inside, because actually that makes no sense really, but we've bought into the kind of myth of that because it's been set up nicely. I can buy into lots of hocus pocus in our version of science fiction Doctor Who. I can. So I'm not being a pious pain in the neck, but there was no way I could make a link to a storyboard and somebody orally telling stories. Like when he was in the chair, the barber's chair. You're in the barber's chair. How does that feed this thing? And then, yes, at the end, you heard all the voices. I just thought, I know, but I'm not getting this. This is so far into fantasy. Fantasy bores me when it's just pure fantasy. I can't connect to it. I mean, there's your fireman shot, by the way, Sean. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
People are saying in the thread.
Is that from the actual show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that from the actual show?
Yeah, it's from the beginning.
Because the TARDIS door is like slid over.
Yeah.
It hasn't like.
It's a picture. It's a character. It's a image conjured up of what happened. It's not.
This is it. I mean, as Stephen Braddock is saying, I mean,
still not right though.
The thread are still listening to me, at least. How did the barber create the nexus from blood and hair? How did he kit out the shop with dimensional electronics? Who created the spider? So many. And this is what I mean. Yes, not every Doctor Who classic even answers every question, but they do try in most cases. The Pyramids of Mars is an example. The timey-wimey bit in episode 4, that there was a time gap for him to get back in the TARDIS. Yeah, there was a little bit there. You go, oh, okay, I can buy into that. And they did try and explain it. They give us a bit of dialogue. But I'm sorry, they didn't even try here.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, like, there's definitely things over the years as being a Doctor Who fan, we've sort of had to fill in gaps and go, oh yeah, we'll let that slide. But this was just a complete mess, as you say. They weren't even trying.
Yeah, well, look. You see, the thread can see what I can see. They know what's going on here. The creche are messing on. Brendan, I think you need to force feed Farley's rusks if the creche continues to be naughty. I quite liked Farley's, but when I was a kid, of course.
Have you not noticed something, Brendan? You not notice that we're worse whenever we're talking about a real shit episode that we really don't like? The behavior gets out of hand.
Have we had any episodes we have liked?
I haven't noticed.
That's true.
I haven't noticed.
I think we are a little bit. By Tuesday, I think we've all gone a bit. But I know. It's just I honestly, truly have tried, but I don't understand that. Plus, as Paul Richards is saying, what about the hair coming back so straight away? What is this? On what level does this make sense? Cutting the hair.
We forgot the TARDIS, the big revolution. The TARDIS cuts the Doctor's hair.
Oh no! Well, there you go. I mean, it's got a food machine.
Who cuts his pubes?
Do they grow with his hair?
I know, that's what I was wondering. He's just got, like, whenever he got his afro back, was like, did the curtain match the drapes or what? You know,
Oh, I tell you
God,
what, these are getting. I mean, I'm gonna have so many naughty steps for Ryan. I won't be able to keep. I won't, won't be able to keep up. I mean,
the most like we have went, over
Bloody
60 years. Over 60 years, we didn't need to, that was a question that we did not need answered. Oh, the
No.
TARDIS cuts my hair.
yeah, yeah. Sonny, by the way, you have a naughty step as well. Just so you know. There you go.
I'm not naughty. I never needed it.
No. Just so you know.
That looks
That's
accurate.
he's definitely he's midway through a cack there. He's midway through a dookie drop there.
And there's
Right, somebody else do something bad. Right, flip sick.
So, obviously, episode wise, I if it doesn't hold together, then
Yeah.
what all the lovely sentiment you wanted are lost.
Yeah.
Aren't they? I mean, this is the point. And like some people have said, and I've seen it over the 3 streams, that you're very negative about this episode, or there's other things in the episode, Brendan. Yes, they are, but they started the episode with a message, and the message wasn't on the back of an outstanding episode, so the whole thing wasn't. The whole other rest disappears, and then you go, the message stands out. I mean, I don't agree with the message, but I think the message could have been managed better in a stronger story, and it just didn't land.
The thing as well, like I
Victoria
find
season
that
2.
in certain episodes, like you will with any TV show, you'll maybe sometimes have moments that'll completely take you out of that particular episode. This episode has multiple of those moments.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
what was that line as well?
Go on.
That line. I mean, stuff in there like they treat you like one of your own.
Yeah.
I mean, terrible. No nuance there at all. The other one, they both used to work for her father, but he was mean, so they left. That is like fantastic levels of writing right there. And then saying, and this, I meant to pick this up, Brandon. I'm glad I remembered. It says nothing is more vivid than everyday life. Now, this is a trend RTD's been doing through this whole series, that normal life, and this first season.
Yeah.
Oh, normal life. No, it's not. We know what normal life's like, Russell. It's shit. We've got bills to pay. We're freezing cold in our houses until this week. We're struggling. We're struggling with bills. Money's going up. Petrol's disgraceful. Like, oh, sorry. No, we'll put Doctor Who on to watch some intergalactic travel. Oh, wait, sorry. No, they're in Africa. Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. Turn it off.
This is the same
what world are these people living in?
But this is like the same guy who basically brought Doctor Who back, showed us how boring and mundane normal life actually is, and that was the whole point of running away with the Doctor.
Yes, you're very right, because Rose was bored with her day shift at the shop.
Yeah, like as Eccleston says, you get up, go to work, eat chips, go to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the whole, like,
go on, you go and have lovely beans on toast.
Well, it's supposed to be escapism, but they've blurred their lines. The writers and their captured ideology have blurred their lines of escapism, reality, and fantasy. It's all the same to them, and we get fanfic now.
But this is the snag. This photograph sums it up here. A week ago, Conrad Clark was the most evil villain in the history of Doctor Who and deserved to die alone in prison at an early age. Meanwhile, the barber, here we go, the Doctor sits down with him, coaxes him, and then says, you could maybe start another barber shop. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, I'd leave him alone. That barber looks as though he's just upset because he's not allowed to operate under a cash-only policy anymore. That's all.
And that goes into what I thought was the point of the episode. I typed it in the chat. I thought the message / point of the episode was to say Black people can't do anything wrong. And we proved that through stories, I guess. That's all we can do. Like that, he had to make the heel turn at the end. Like everybody had to live at the end. It's what it is.
And as Sean, before we started, and I just want to say this because I agree with Sean, and I think Ryan was saying the same thing too. We could have started this stream by just singing the national anthem, because the point is, if this is all about
cleanse my soul,
this is all about stories and traditions and how powerful they are and important they are to Nigerian people, then I also have skin in the game and says, then stop rewriting my history in the meantime as well. because I savour our traditions and our culture, and please don't therefore butcher it, you lot. Do you know what I mean? They can't have it both ways. Butcher our culture, kill our stories, even the nice stories that might be even slightly exaggerated. We're not allowed to keep them.
It's funny that you say that, and we're talking about this program that very much used to very much signify a lot of what you just said.
Yeah.
You know, like us, like
Yeah.
the show was very much a British institution.
Yeah,
Very
well,
much so.
and of course on Saturday night. Go on, John.
I read a bit by the. Sorry, I read a bit by the. I think I've got a slight delay. I read a bit by the author that said something like it was a love letter to Nigeria, and I thought, well, that's fine. You want to go write that elsewhere, go write it. But this show is meant to be a love letter to Britain. That's why it was so loved across the world. Like the Americans liked it because it wasn't like all the shows they were getting. It wasn't like Marvel. It was different. It was have a cup of tea and stand moaning about the weather. We've got our own little quirks, and there's no worries. You want to write an episode about Africa and about your own country and your home country or whatever you want to term it as, and in a barber shop and all that camaraderie and being in a place where you feel comfortable, fine, no problem at all. But this is meant to be a show that's based here. Like, set it in a flipping bus queue, standing in the piss and rain.
Right.
If you want to, you know, that if you want to show.
Okay, so Wendy Howell, thank you very much. First of all. Thank you. I'm always very, very grateful. If the TARDIS is a barber, is it a tailor? Did it sew Colin Baker's coat of many colours? I would trust the Hoopettes to do more with my hair over the TARDIS. Oh, right. I'm not too sure about that. They are, and they're loving your hat, Sonny. There you go. Paul Richards, just saying it as it is. Now, while we've been champing at the bit, we have forgotten so many things because let me just get to it. We do our own supermarket music at the moment. Right, folks, we do have something to discuss for a few moments because maybe we were all wrong. Maybe the show's doing really well and we are just so negative and we're very like Conrad. Let's have a look. Yes, well, I'll use new material, not stuff that you've already seen on my other streams. But there's the headline figure, of course, 1.59 million for this episode. So we found a Wembley Stadium-sized crowd increase. That's what happened there. Those are the figures. I just keep updating them. In yellow are the new ones that have just been released. So the well you see there in its consolidated has got 3.23, which actually means it is not retrieving where Robot Revolution was. It is higher than Lux, but then look at Lucky Days consolidated, the worst in Doctor Who history at 2.8. And, you know, it doesn't get any better, lads. It just does not get any better.
I always say the ratings show, right, what was happening from the previous week. And so like that just proves to me The Well was definitely the worst episode I've ever seen of Doctor Who because it brought down Lucky Day, and Lucky Day is not gonna encourage people to watch. So
no. So I mean, Malpractice is just a drama on TV. That's already got 2.89. Lucky Day got 2.8 with all the money, all the hype, all the award-winning writers.
That's probably about as much you can hope for.
Yeah, even the company Ratings UK have said, and they're trying to be positive, I've noticed. I feel this will be the lowest the series goes, they say, and I sincerely hope it's an upward spiral from here on out, but I wait with bated breath. The show pulled 2.8 million viewers, that's Lucky Day, marking the lowest audience in the show's history. However, I don't consider myself too concerned since the show does perform solidly all year round. It now depends how they rejuvenate it to keep growing rather than falling. We gave the episode a B+ grade in our mini review. I just think they're trying, but they're not seeing what we're seeing. And you know, the top show 5.95. Young people traveling the world. You know, can you just give us something interesting, please? Doesn't be after. Is Doctor Who in the top 10 of the shows in April? Let's take a look.
Did Roadshow beat it again?
Well, look, Race Across the World, Apprentice, Britain's Got Talent, Beyond Paradise, The 1% Club, Have I Got News for You? I mean, Have I Got News for You? A half-hour daft quiz show that I've gone off a bit, really. 4.48 million, and Doctor Who's 2 million behind that. I mean, Emmerdale got 4 million.
It's almost 3 million behind it, isn't it? 1.58. It's getting there, isn't it? It's horrendously behind. It's absolutely miles away from these, isn't it? That's
yeah.
Well, it's not shocking it was, but it really should be ringing alarm bells.
Compared to what it used to be.
So if you see that Lucky Day got 2.8 and Lux got 3.23 in the consolidated, you know, that's the one they love. These are the averages for the top 10 shows in the month. So in April, the top shows were 5.9 to 4. Doctor Who is way off the pace. In March, 6.8 to 4.6. And you can see how it goes. And look, RTD and the BBC wanted it on in April and May. They stick with that choice. They know they'll be scrambling for, you know, more, you know, loose change, so to speak. And they're not even managing that. I actually do think, Sean, you know, that they've got it on in April and May the last few years because they know the show is like a wounded animal and they would not dare put Doctor Who on in, say, September or October when it is highly competitive schedules.
Oh, it'd be obliterated. It'd be absolutely obliterated. I mean, like we said, I mean, it needs to be pointed out. I don't know how many people in the chat are not from the UK, but like, I mean, these aren't big. I mean, Coronation Street, Emmerdale, there, you know, all the TV's seen its ratings drop, but Jesus Christ, Britain's Got Talent. You know, I thought that was finished years ago. Beyond Paradise is, I think, the second spin-off of Murder in Paradise, which I've never been massively impressed by, to be honest. I think they're a bit samey, but you know, it's behind Have I Got News for You, which is rubbish. The 1% comes a brand new and another bloody quiz show. No, EastEnders has gone right off the boil. These aren't. It's not up against. You know, it's not up against anything difficult here. You know, it's getting beaten consecutively by Country File, Malpractice, and everything. Gogglebox.
Well, that's what I mean. If everybody can find it, it's in 29th place for the consolidated at 2.8. That's Lucky Day. It 74,000. You know, we're getting excited that they got 90,000 uptick this week. Well, just 74,000 more, and you get Country File, where we look about sheep dips, and you know,
don't be knocking Country File. Don't be knocking Country File, Brendan.
Don't be a Country File, no.
But
it's a good
I have
show.
to also
people
say,
know what they're going to get. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Lads, a few weeks ago, when I mentioned the same thing, you had a reason. So I'm going to do it again because yet again, Doctor Who's been beaten by it. I think 1, 2, 3, 4 weekly. Oh God, yeah, 4 shows. BBC News at 6 beats Doctor Who. Now, News at 6. Now, the Pope can't be dead again. Sorry, he's dead and he's gone now. We've got a new one. So what's going on now? Because BBC News at 6, 3.2 million, 3.1, 2.9, Doctor Who 2.8. I mean, you're having a laugh. Doctor Who can't beat the news.
People are leaving from the news when Doctor Who comes on.
Yeah, people don't. People, you know, that whole turn away from the awful news, as RTD said. People aren't. You know, all we need to do now is do what we do, Brendan, when an away team's player gets sent off, just sing bye, 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 bye. And then as RTD and shooting all them scuttle away after it's been rested, we can all sing, we can see you sneaking out and all that. Yeah, you've had your day out now off home. We can do that one as well. So we can have some fun with this. Don't worry. We've got 3 episodes of this absolute turgid detritus left, and then we can celebrate. We can crack open the bubbly, and we can
Yeah,
enjoy.
I just
We can enjoy. How far
yeah,
is it falling? That we're looking
yeah,
forward to
yeah.
this
You
dying.
see,
Just kill it.
but the truth is, I mean, just to kind of keep it in perspective, at number 16 is Antiques Roadshow. Now, remember again, we were laughing a few weeks ago, but Antiques Roadshow, in essence, that set where the tree was in the barber shop, if they'd focused on the stuff that was on the shelves, there's some beautiful stuff. Maybe we would have got another extra 600,000 watching. And I think so. Basically, just show us the lovely shelves in the backdrop of each Doctor Who set, and we might increase our viewers because basically the plot, the acting, the music is not doing it because it is not a sum of its parts.
Did anybody spot the Jumanji board, by the way, on one of the shelves?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
was there? Oh, I'll have to give that a watch.
Yeah.
No,
But
don't bother. It was shite.
Yeah, I was saying, you'll go back for an Easter egg of a Jumanji board.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
That's
It's
cool,
all
I
right,
guess.
you know.
That doesn't fix the story at all. That's cool. That doesn't make it watchable at all.
I
That was
don't
cool.
give. I don't care. The Antiques Roadshow doesn't have a story. It's just people like bringing pots and stuff to be valued. But Doctor Who's just
Right
different.
now,
And don't know the thing about Antiques Roadshow. It's on a lot of those other shows. It's incredibly cheap to make.
Yeah.
Compared
That's
to
what
the likes
Doctor
of
Who
Doctor
used to
Who.
be.
yeah, because people are bringing in the blooming set for you almost,
Yeah.
really. And it's a different set every week, as in your outside broadcast. You're in a hall or something. Now, I've got sick bay up now because of this, folks. Now, sick bay, because we have that loose creche school vibe, is what is obviously making you nauseous or sickly. And my issue this week is these rumors and which ones are troubling us or we're going to laugh off. Now, lads, the first one here in our sick bay, first of all, our great showrunner says that the finale will be, so this is from his mouth first, the Doctor's doomed. I could have said that for a while ago. The Doctor's doomed. Belinda is lost. Ruby's trapped. Unit is powerless. The unholy trinity rules supreme and the underverse is rising. And now we can all experience this devastating climax together, all at the same time with a unique worldwide premiere. Now, you mentioned the underverse a while back, Ryan.
Yeah, because I'm really sure that was mentioned. Am I right? What was that second, the one that everybody liked, the second 60th anniversary episode?
Wild Blue Yonder.
Yeah, that was it not mentioned in that? Something about like that's basically where all the gods come from. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care.
Right. Well, because you've said that, you trapped me as a streamer because I'll go and watch that and see if I actually can see if there's the truth to that script, unless the thread can help us out. So anyway, Unholy Trinity, Sonny, what you reckoning? Unholy Trinity, and do you care?
That was the part that was making me sick because I was like, I thought we were getting away from classic Who. Sounds like the gods of Ragnarok. I don't want that at all. I don't want that at all. Let's just, like, we know. I think the Mrs. Flood thing is 100% confirmed by this point, and I think that's enough for me because I'm a Mrs. Flood fan. So like to just muddle it up with more classic Who stuff is just gonna be not okay.
Well, what about this then? Go on, Sean. Sean, Ryan, I apologize.
That's it. The Rani, the Master, Susan, or swap out Susan and it'll be Omega.
Well,
Omega.
Just you wait. Now, when part of the rumors was that they've already done the regeneration, and the 16th Doctor is a woman, and she's a female who has been in Doctor Who before, and she was at the BAFTAs. So there's only 6 actresses people could think about. So the rumor would be in this case that it's either Saran Jones, Joanna Page, Billy Piper, Anna Maxwell Martin, Rose Aylin Ellis, or Nicola Coughlan. If you're not sure about who those are, Saran Jones basically, she played, she was the TARDIS, really, wasn't she? Joanna Page played, she played Queen Elizabeth in Day of the Doctor. Obviously, Billy Piper, we know well. Anna Maxwell Martin played Suki in The Long Game. Rose Aylin Ellis has just been in The Well, and Nicola Coughlan was in Joy to the World. Now, I'm sure you've all heard these as well. I can't believe that RTD would go there. If he's still in charge, by the way.
No, this would kill the show. To be honest, any of these choices. To be honest, like, I know the show's already dead, but like this would be like beyond dead. This would be like stomping it into the dirt.
I don't know what you could. I mean, I'm trying my best. When we had Jodie Whittaker, I tried my best. But number one, you can't have Billy Piper as the Doctor. That's like having David Tennant twice.
Right.
And no, don't. And don't spoil it, because she was good as Rose. Leave her alone. I don't want to spoil the memory of that. And she nearly spoiled it by coming back in David the Doctor, personally speaking. Saran Jones was a very interesting character playing the TARDIS. I think she just about got away with it, but please leave it alone. Joanna Page, not my bag, really. Anna Maxwell Martin, I like her in Motherland and stuff like that. She's also played lots of good drama, and Rosalie Ellis, no. Nicola Coughlan, definitely not. I'm sorry. And yes, you're right there. That there's no black woman there, so diversity doesn't go too far anyway.
It's not gonna work.
These are just rumors, no connection to anything. I've got no skin in the game. Sean, when you see, oh, sorry, go on, Ryan. You were going to come in.
Was it?
Oh, sorry, I thought it was. Go on, Sean. It was you. Go on, Sean. I'm not sure who's.
No, I think, I really do think, I've not read this anywhere, but I was sat there thinking, what's the worst possible thing they could do? Because I think that's more likely.
Billy Piper.
I think,
Yeah.
No. I think Shooty will, if he does, I think he'll just regenerate and they'll cut it. But I think he's going to regenerate into Jodie Whittaker. I think he's going to regenerate into her again. I don't think she's back for a cameo. I think she's back again.
God.
Oh, yeah, because I think it's the worst thing
that would
do.
be so boring. That would just be boring.
This is the.
Don't you want to hear Fam again? I do. I want to hear Fam again. Hey, Fam.
No, I don't. Fam. I'm a Yorkshireman, but that Yorkshire accent is bloody killer. Pikehead. Another woman.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. Sorry, Ryan.
I was just going to say, we are very much at that point now where nothing's off the table. Literally anything could happen. I actually have to agree with Sean. I think the worse outcome is probably more likely than... I hope they just leave it open-ended and the show has a good long rest. But because I hope that, RTD is probably going to do the exact opposite of that. So I'm thinking we're in for something quite god awful.
I this is when I have to, a lot of the rumors have ended up having a version where you can see where it came from and it's in the program. So the RTD era has an issue with leaks. They've had too many trailers. And as you were joking, Ryan, the German trailer showed the spider blowing up, for example. That ruined that one. We've seen too much. I'm willy-nilly showing photographs of next week's episode as if it's already been on. Too much is shown. Then you get the leaks. Then there are millions of leaks. Now, yes, fans are fans and they all have a gob on them. And lots of fans pretend they know somebody. The tea lady who's the auntie of RTD when he's in Swansea typing and she grabbed one of his... No, it just goes on forever. I don't believe... It's a load of baloney. People just want views. People want to get subscribers and they do it by grifting. I'm not interested. So... everybody pretends they know somebody. And of course, I proudly say the sense for you knows nobody. We can just use our common sense. I think this is guessing, pure and simple, because I think every fan out there is just about nailed on that there's a regeneration. It's just that we don't know what happens quite next. You see, the other rumor is that RTD's been sacked or has left. Therefore, why would they allow RTD to pick the next actor already? Right. It doesn't make any sense, does it?
That's assuming you're assuming that the next person is going to be any better than him. It won't be, because they'll pick from in their own. If they do pick somebody, it'll be in the BBC again or someone that they know, someone who shares their worldly views. Shall I just say? That's what they'll do. You're not going to get some up-and-coming lad from a council house in bloody Sunderland. It ain't going to happen. Who might know a bit about the real world and bring a bit of grit to it. It ain't going to happen.
Well, let's see if you like this rumor then. Episode 7, which is the Wish World, involves the Doctor and Belinda living in different lives. The episode opens with flashbacks to the Rani, so Mrs. Flood bi-generates into the Rani. This is all the same rumor, and she's on horseback. The Asian actress Rani is seen riding a horse through a forest in Hungary at the beginning of Wish World. So the Rani is a home banker on this rumor. I think everybody has said Flood, Rani, Rain. We've all done it forevermore. It looks as though it's going to be a Sue-Tech thing. But I didn't want the Rani back. I wasn't interested. I don't want any more Time Lords. I don't want the Master back. I think you can see what Rtd's doing, and I can see merit to this in this thinking and to this rumor that he's gone. I want to do another Utopia, like Matrix Lord said, where it's a 3-parter to end the series. I love that bit when Derek Jacobi appeared as the Master, and I want to do that again. But everybody's sick of the Master, so the Rani. Yes, and you can see his excitement that he's going to do exactly the same thing with a female renegade Time Lord. And he can tick the box that it's an Asian actress, tick box, and it's a woman, tick box. You can see his excitement. Remember, he was writing these 2 series very quickly, Sonny. So, bing, 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 done.
That makes perfect sense. And like I said, it's been very predictable so far in what I've been watching, and people have been predicting it already. It's sad. Go ahead, John.
The only question you should ask yourself when you're casting an actor or an actress is, are they any bloody good? A writer, are they any bloody good? Director, are they any bloody good? And continue all the way down the line. You should want the best people you can get. Best people you can get. I don't care where they're from. I don't care what's between the legs. I just want a good show. I want the best people for it. That's surely the most equal, right? Like, I don't understand this. I don't get it. I don't see the world like that, and I'm glad I don't.
Well,
I got the coat.
Yeah.
So I think RTD knows all of this, right? He's aware of what's going on, and so I really don't believe Gat was gonna regenerate at all, because what the Cope artist told me was that if he was really gonna regenerate, they would advertise it because people would want to come and watch it, right? They wouldn't make it a surprise regeneration, and they've advertised everything else coming up to this.
I think, yeah. There's a few things that remember that they want.
The rumor was the reshot, wasn't it? There's rumors that they reshot.
Well, he's
regeneration. That's the rumor.
Well, here we go. So there's a lot here. There's a lot to pick on. I'll keep it on the big screen and just shout out various things as I go. So what I recall says this rumor: Fugitive Doctor appears in cameo in episode 5. Well, we can tick that. Mrs. Flood is revealed as a bi-generation of the Rani at the end of episode 6. Well, we'll soon find out. Susan rocks up at some point in the finale. Omega rocks up in the finale as some kind of redesigned creature similar to the Sue-Tech last season. Now, there's that bit, right? And then last bit here, just so that we can really chew the cud then, right? Cowland Ford will be back. There is some debate whether this is in Wish World or the Reality War or both. Susan is said to be a glass avatar like what was seen in Twice Upon a Time. Mrs. Flood will be the one dropping the bombshell to the Doctor regarding Omega and his involvement in what is happening to him and Belinda. The Rani was the boss Meep referred to. The season ends with the Daleks capturing the Doctor. And just before you all freak out, I'll just finish this and then we can talk. Since then, remember, you were just starting to go into then added scenes. Since then, he's added the Omega actually appears and has a CGI claw thing and now says the Doctor regenerates and it fades to black. And there's a surprising figure that helps him do so, which people have interpreted as Geordie. Right. Okay, lads, let's argue. What do you reckon?
Well, I will comment on the Dalek thing since I am the Dalek man. Like, I was told 18 months ago that the Daleks are going to show up in season 2. I have said that from day one since I come onto this channel that the Daleks are going to show up in season 2 somewhere. Now, I am less sort of like it's going to happen, but at least if it does happen, I can go, oh yeah, I was right the whole time, yay. But Jesus Christ. Like, this is literally the definition of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like, it very much, it's just so much. Like,
That's
I'm
what the
done with
future
the
of
thing. Is it
Doctor
like
is. Yeah.
so many of these rumors and things are coming out? Yeah, some of them are going to be true. Some of them are going to be true, and the way Russell's been getting on, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised at all.
Well, before anyone else comes in, because obviously I know Sean will and Sonny will, but I'll just get some of the thread in because this is fan time, as in we've all heard things. Toast Gaming, Shooty regenerates, cut to black before we find it who's into, year break, we pick back up and he regenerates into Shooty. A joke is made about how he just can't let go because he's too... Yeah, well, okay. Matrix Lord, though, Ruby dies, they reshoot her death and they reverse it. Daleks are not in season 2, says Matrix Lord. We're all going to find out one way or the other. This is the only exciting bit to me.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Sean?
Either way, whether he regenerates or not, there's no way in hell that if you were Shooty Gatwa's agent, right, you would let him continue with this. You'd be saying to him, bit like I can't remember who said it to me in the chat, but Farsight it was, said that Jodie Whittaker's did the same with her. Get the hell out of there. And if David Tennant had have listened to his agent, who apparently, I don't know if he let her go or him go, I don't know which it was. Their agent said to him, to Tennant, to begged him not to go back. So agents aren't daft, they're shrewd. They go with the money. They're the same as football agents. They go with the money. There's no way in hell his agent will let him come back to this, because this will kill your career if you stay with this. If you let this stay around your neck. If you get out now, you'll have a chance. If you stay with it, it'll scupper you. Scupper you.
I mean, Sonny, it's possible. It is possible. You know, like they added that scene with the fans in Lux.
Yeah.
That they've added things and changed things. So if it's true that Shooty's leaving, and it's true that Shooty always said he's never, you know, I'm not the Doctor if I've never faced the Daleks. That it is possible that you shoot one scene, very like, well, sorry, I was going to say very like Frontier in Space, but the Daleks are in a little bit more than one scene. But you know, like when the Master said, I've got some friends here. We saw a little bit of the Daleks.
Yeah. Well,
and then there was a bit with the Daleks. Well, they shot the John Pertwee Doctor, and then it led us into the plans of the Daleks.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's a touch that they could do that, and that could be shot quite quickly. So it's not like the Daleks are back. But the rumor is the Daleks capture him and take him away. And of course, the next time you see the Doctor, if the Doctor ever comes back, it'll be somebody else. And got away from the Daleks. Because as you know, Doctor Who always fails to explain things. I can understand them doing one scene with just a couple of Daleks. It could be easily done.
Yeah, that does make sense, because we want to hand fist in more classic Who to make it stable, and a lone Dalek or a runaway Dalek, it's not going to be part of the plot for sure. I'm leaning towards it's probably not even going to be in there, but I also don't think Shooty's regenerating, because if they want to piss off the fans, and B, the brainwashed Cope fans, they like Gatwa over like Jodie, for example. So like that fan scene with Lux, that was like them going like, would you want Jodie or Gatwa, right? And like we put Jodie back in their brain, and I can see Jodie showing up at the end too. So
I think he gets captured. Remember, he said he'd love to twerk in front of a Dalek. If you spend time dancing in front of a Dalek, it's got time to capture you. And I think there you go.
It would just shoot him though, right? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
Sean, you
no.
False
I was just thinking this. Yeah, I was trying to let somebody talk for once. No, I think there was I don't know. I can't help thinking there'd be some kind of joke about, you know, the Daleks covered in balls or something. There's just lots of scope there for just utter farce, isn't there? I can't imagine they're going to have to. you'd have to make the Daleks less serious to go against this Doctor. Because if this Doctor was
Exactly.
as he is against normal Daleks, they would just be like, "This is not war; it's pest control." I'd love them to say that to him, rather than like the Daleks being stupid. You know, I don't know. We'll see.
The
Well,
thing is,
what
like, if I was to, like, you already know this anyway, but, like, you know, if the Daleks ever were to come back, hopefully not in this iteration of Doctor Who, but if they ever were to come back, I would love to see them being a proper, frightening, manipulative force behind the
It
scenes
would be
again.
the scariest
Not
thing we saw so far.
what?
You're right. It would be the scariest thing we saw so far. Just
That
any
is
regular
true.
Dalek, really.
But because they have been, we went from Daleks being scary to Daleks being a bit of a joke. Then whenever they brought them back in 2005, they were scary again, and a lot of those jokes were washed away, basically. A lot of the jokes that people used to make. And then they sort of became a bit of a joke again. Now, I will admit, Chris Chibnall did actually, like, even though the stories aren't great, the Daleks themselves were actually quite well written, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I would genuinely like another season of Doctor Who, a completely different iteration, where they have been manipulating this, like they have been manipulating something behind the scenes, and then even 1 or 2 seasons, at the end of the second season, you actually find out, oh shit, they're actually behind this entire thing.
You just
You
want
know,
it to make sense.
Well, let me just say 2 things. Woodhouse 122
We
could
kind of had
be a
that, didn't
Dalek.
we?
Could be a Dalek scene like they did in the pilot episode from series 10. And Jeremy TARDIS Travels here. It would, however, be good to see the Daleks back, even if it's just a quick cameo. Now, the other thing is, we all seem to want them to be a threat again, and we don't want them obviously being, you know, blurring with this era. But we might. I live in hope that you could have this one scene I was saying to Sonny about, where the Daleks are ruthless. They have always wanted to capture the Doctor, really. And at the end of the season, without any big lead up, a Dalek appears, or a Dalek kidnap squad, you know, make it lethal, and they grab him. And you know, that almost re-energizes the Dalek myth again, doesn't it? Because they look ruthless, they look efficient, and I need the Daleks to look better again. Yeah.
As a cliffhanger, I think it makes too much sense, Brendan. I just don't think he wants to do that or he will do that. But it makes too much sense as a cliffhanger, then leave the series for a year or 2 or whatever. It makes.
I think he's also aware, RTD, though, that if Shooty is leaving, and also if he's RTD's leaving, that it's a kind of a favor. He knows that it's gonna rub the Doctor actor up a lot if he's never faced the Daleks. I mean, John Pertwee went on and on and on about not facing the Cybermen. So I mean, you know, if you're not Doctor Who, if you've not faced the Daleks, I think nearly every actor feels that. So even if he managed to get one little scene in, Shooty can always say that.
the thing is, though, it won't be the Bronze Daleks. I can tell you that right now. If the Daleks are coming back, it won't be the Bronze Daleks.
Why not?
Yeah, he's not. They're not. I mean, either way, whether they come back or not, he's not the Doctor, is he? And as for people saying, I keep seeing it all the time and hearing it all the time, it's going to get rested. It's going to get rested. Yeah, but resting something means it's got a chance of coming back, not in the short term. Like, it's got no lives left. It's like a cat that's been killed 9 times. There's no lives left for this show. What's it got to bring people back in? You can't bring an original writer back because people are fed up of it. You can't bring back somebody who's already been in it as the Doctor because people are past that now. Once bitten, twice shy. We've had a long time of this kind of thing in TV and film. We're past it now, and you can see from the ratings that the show's lost so many people. I'd love to see what the figures are like if you took out all the people like us, all the people watching it for reviews or YouTube or podcasts or watch who have to watch it because there's
Sean,
nobody left.
In a way,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help you. Sean, I think I've watched it in the last episode, for example, about 4 or 5 times in bits because I'm streaming and I take it seriously. And do you know what I mean? I watch it once, as we all hopefully do, and then we suddenly go, well, I've got to watch it again to make a transcript. I've got to. So in the end, you know that they cheat and they count that as 5 people. So, oh my God, how many people are doing that? Like yourself?
you know, but that's the attitude that you get. I got it on a comment on I posted about Doctor Who, and I got, well, don't watch it then. Oh, that's the attitude, is it? Well, it's worked marvelously for you so far. Like they just will not listen. I'm past giving that. Even if this show came back, I don't think I would watch it. I've got to be honest.
No.
The only way I'd watch this show ever again is if it came back and somebody I really trusted, a friend, family, or somebody said, "You know what? I caught that new Doctor Who, that new reboot. It's really good. You know, it's really dark." But I wouldn't voluntarily watch it again unless you asked me to review it for this. I wouldn't do it again. Wouldn't do it.
Well, Matrix Lord 212 has his own channel in America. He has tended to say very different theories and things. So there's three I want to just read out here because it gives a different view. Season 3 is supposed to throw the Daleks and Cybermen at Shooty, right? He also then says the Davros will be with the Daleks, and then my nightmares. I'm in the sick bay now because which version of Davros are we talking about?
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
What's season 3?
We're getting season 3
because Matrix Lord is saying Doctor Who is not getting rested.
I think so too, because they would advertise it so people would watch his regeneration. That's the cope theory, and I think it's kind of solid.
Yet Jeremy cannot see a season 3 with the present production team.
No,
Jeremy, I agree with that. I also agree that if it's not with the present production team, the next lot are not in place. And I don't think the BBC know what to do with it. And it would actually be advisable to stop for a moment and do some thinking, then rush. They've just rushed 2 series.
There's no thinking involved in this, Brendan. You know what, Matrix Lord, right? If you are right and you've got the inside track and it does come back, oh, bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Bring it on, BBC. Bring it on. I'll come back on here. We'll rip it apart. We'll have fun seeing how bad it's getting. Because, you know, what's what problem?
Exactly. You said bring it on. You should be happy for season 3, buddy.
I want it back. There's that part of me that would enjoy ripping it to pieces, but there's the 99.99% of me that is a Doctor Who fan, and they're taking. This is like having a favorite book and someone's like ripped it up, peed on it, crapped on it, then they've burnt a bit of it, then they've picked it up and gone, "Yeah, do you want to read your favorite book?" Well, no, you've defecated all over it. You've burnt bits of it. Yeah, but if you want to feel it, you'll be able to read. Well, you can disagree as much as you want, but that's my opinion. Yeah, go on, mate. Yeah,
Sean, this is the logic of Matrix Lord, and you know, you can't cancel and still have the spin-off. So I think within that Matrix Lord, your argument is that it may be paused, and there's no New Who, and there's no production team there, but they can't announce that while the spin-off hasn't been broadcast because you're going to tank your views. And Disney have put money into that, so they want to get the money back. But then after that, all bets are off. I think Matrix Lord, that doesn't mean there's a season 3, does it? I mean, I'm sure they're planning for season 3.
Semantics. We're arguing over semantics then. A pause, a rest, a break. If it pauses and all the production go away and all the sets go away, that isn't a pause. That's a finish, and then you need to start a new production. That's not a pause in my. I don't do TV. That's not a pause in my eyes.
Like, are we going to get any Doctor Who in 2026? Probably not. So, you know what I mean? So, as you just said, it is, like, you just can't say, oh, yeah, it's going to be a season 3. No, there will have to be a stop and a start again, you know?
And remember this, because this we streamed out this a while back. These are the facts out there. I think it was YouGov did an opinion poll. 20 to 22% have general apathy towards Doctor Who in the British population. 26% of the general public have never seen Doctor Who. Now, when you split it, in the 65 pluses, 34% prefer classic, 4% New Who. And we know how that's going to pan out. 50 to 64-year-olds, only 10% like New Who, and 15% have never watched. But look at that green figure. 18 to 24-year-olds, 40% have never seen Doctor Who, and 25 to 49, 31%. And so when we actually are just saying, oh, well, it could be paused a couple of years, let's find a production team. I think there is a serious issue that every time you bring Doctor Who back, it's a law of diminishing returns because more and more people have not even watched it. So why bother?
goes back to goodwill as well. How much goodwill does the show have left? None. With that casual audience, they've gone. They've absolutely gone. And it goes back to what we were talking about, and I've mentioned a few times over the past 5 weeks. Feels like longer. Where you're talking about, well, it's like saying, do you want this show to continue? Yes, I probably always would want Doctor Who to continue, but not like this. You don't want this to continue. This is cruel now.
No.
It's cruel. It's spiteful. It's not making the majority of people watch it happy. It's miserable and it's hurtful. And I can't be bothered. And I think that's how the majority of people talk. Look at Jeremy, Rtd'S Travels. A lot of people, John stopped buying the magazine. A lot of people have just gone. And they're a lot more diehard than I. I've only been watching since I was 12, 2005, whatever. But do you know what I mean? It's got no goodwill left. I'm getting there, I'm watching a few.
Just to add to that, we listed all those rumours. Every stream has been going on about Omega, Caroline Ford, Susan, the Rani, the Fugitive Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, blank. Now, I would have thought common sense in a normal short season is the payoff is one of them comes back maybe and you build to it very slowly, nicely. But I think isn't our big issue, lads, that all this all at once is a bit kitchen sink, throwing at and hoping something sticks. Because the Rani's okay on their own if you build to them logically and introduce them to new fans who've never heard of the Rani. The same with Susan. Why will they know who the hell Susan is? And please explain one of them. It's a brilliant story arc, one of them. But to have a story arc where you do Mrs. Flood, the Rani, Bi-Generation, Fugitive Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, Regeneration, Omega, and maybe the Daleks come back, that is just called a hodgepodge. That's called a mess. That's called chaos. And since the writing so far can't even land an episode that just sits in a barber shop, how the hell can it glue all this together?
It's a nightmare. It's a night terror.
Yeah, it's a sick bay.
On that note,
where are you sticking that thermometer, Brendan? Get away from my ear.
So, look, I mean, everybody's been there live. It's a lively one. When you get more to midweek, you've got whether it's the updated ratings, whether there's some news items, whether it's we've had a few days to think about it, and then we tiptoe into the next one. And the next one's the big one. I've got some amazing guests next week as well, on top of my usual shows. So it's going to be a fiery week. And obviously tomorrow I'll land a saloon. And on Thursday at tea time, Thursday at 5 p.m. We go on Target Books. And then we'll hit the weekend again. Now, Sean, you are also a streamer. So do you want to just tell people what's going on in your channel?
Yeah, less of a streamer, more just a podcaster. I do my podcast is Review It Yourself. Film reviews without the faff. Comes out weekly every Sunday. And you can go over there, and if you think I can't be positive about anything, I do have a real passion and a real love of films. The odd TV show over there, so you can go over there and check it out wherever you listen to your podcasts. YouTube's probably not the best place to look, but wherever you get your podcast, go over and listen. It's me and my co-host Sarah, who's from the south of England, so at least you'll get a nice English accent in there, if not for mine. So yeah, there you go. Cheers for having me on.
Okay. It's all right. And Sonny, you have your own channel too.
Yes, Sunny Waffles 3538. I just uploaded 2 new funny videos, I think, a little drama related, not Doctor Who related though. And then I stream after this. I usually do some sort of like post show after a Sensphere appearance where I stream for a couple hours playing a couple video games, listening to more Doctor Who stuff. And I have a challenge video I'm working on about a Pokemon game that's going to come out soonish. That's right.
And Ryan, you're heavily production, isn't it? Production, you are.
Yes, I do. I make things. So go over onto Titan Studios, 3D. We're everywhere. Facebook, flipping Instagram, wherever you get us. Facebook mainly. Check us out. We're going to have some really cool stuff coming out. If you're a fan of Doctor Who and Doctor Who toys, we're going to have, let's just say we have something coming out that's going to really please the John Pertwee fans out there.
I'm saying nothing, but I think you showed me a photograph a while back, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, we've had our creche tonight, and did you get this version of me, lads?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Around the thing.
You got the run. Did you get this version where I was all manipulative and nasty?
No.
It was a hit. It was a
Brendan,
hit.
you're
Yes,
always an
we-
absolute gem.
Or did you get that version? Or did you
That
get
was most of the time.
Or did you get the brooding version?
Smoldering version.
Whatever. Smoldering version, yeah, the young version. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, a lot of dummy spits tonight, a lot of bad orders. Anyway, we've kicked off. I'm going to now get all these to bed. It's going to be a hell of a night. So thanks, lads. It's been really good fun. And I think the thread really do look forward to Tuesdays because they know it's going to be a little bit more whoa. And you all deliver. And it's been great. Thank you very much. So thank you to the thread. Thanks to the lads. And I think it's time for us to say good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Adios.
Cheers, ciao. Au revoir.
Buongiorno.